son? Where'd you find this?
Oh, you think you should play RuneScape again? Oh, unfortunately, it's now dead and gay, like everything else. Even old school RuneScape has the fucking pride shit, and I think the last time I checked, they made it so that you can gay marry on that island where you have to like royal marry somebody to inherit the island. They made it so that you can even have like an asexual option where you don't have to marry anyone because you know some people might get hashtag triggered by being forced into a marriage even for the sake of a role playing game to inherit an island. So yeah, they got rid of that. They also renamed. This is the thing that made me cancel my subscription to RuneScape for good, even though I didn't play it that often to begin with. And they renamed all the before for like 20 years in RuneScape. All the there was a desert part of the map, and all the NPCs there, including the camel, was named Ali. So it was Ali the kebab guy, Ali the armorer, Ali the weaponsmith, Ali the camel, Prince Ali, the leader of the area. They're all named Ali. That was the joke. And they changed that because that's too offensive to all the fucking Muslims, I guess. Even though when Muslims start migrating to a country like Germany, the name Muhammad becomes like the top boy's name, like almost immediately. Like, wow, they sure don't live up to that stereotype, naming their children all the same fucking thing all the time. There sure is a misconception about Arab people that is not based in reality whatsoever. But whatever. Hello everybody. I was almost late. I was not late, despite what people in chat. Okay, first off, before
thank you, Golden Back Jack, for the Prime.
I changed it for this week. I felt inspired, so I changed the $100 super chat to something special for this week. Oh, thank you. So before we do anything, let's talk about this thing. There is in the bottom right of my screen a heart, and it is spewing bile and disgust. I don't know why the fuck there are like party emojis and laughing emojis and heart emojis. I don't know where the fuck that is coming from. I don't know where I if I turn off my foreground, it goes away. So it must be like a part of the YouTube chat. I don't know where the fuck it's coming from though. Is it like a reaction to emojis in the chat? Oh, is that what it is? Anytime anyone uses an emoji, it translates it to like one of 3 different kinds of reactions, live reaction. I really don't know what the fuck it is. It's fucking vomitous and horrific though, and extremely distracting. I don't want it on my screen. Can I turn it off? Let's see, the foreground, YouTube chat, interact. Can I click it? Oh, what the fuck? Oh geez, I broke it. Uh-oh. Can I refresh it? Oh, this is awkward. Refresh. Okay, hold up. Oh, there it is. Okay, I fixed it. Wow, YouTube just keeps getting better and better all the fucking time. I love it so much. It's not at all a giant pain in my dick to constantly have to deal with YouTube. Okay, so let's just ignore the. And I'm not. Okay, next stream. Before next stream, I'm gonna go into the CSS. I'm gonna rip that fucking thing out. And I'm gonna throw it to the ground. I'm gonna stomp on it. I'm never gonna look at it again because that is awful. Anyways, let's see. Let's move on to the news segment. Everybody's favorite. Lower thirds. We're in news mode. It's time to make fun of the English once more, yet again, as I say. The English. What part of England am I making fun of today? The United Kingdom, that's a country. It's like saying in the United States. This is not. Okay, it doesn't say what part of the UK, so maybe somebody can explain to me what part of the UK. A doctor was pulled. There was an emergency meeting that was called in his hospital. They pressed the emergency meeting button, and then all the little doctors in the doctor lab coats ran over to the emergency meeting room, and they decided to discuss the events. And the UK, because their medical system is like socialized, so I imagine that the people running the meeting are government employees, and they work directly for the government and the medical system there, the NHS. And they call him in, and they say, "Doc, you gotta start using proper pronouns, eh?" And the doc said, "No, that's sussy baka. I don't want to do that." And so they said, "Okay, you don't have to use the proper pronouns, but you will be fired instead." And so he was fired. And this 26-year veteran who worked at the hospital for peanuts, because the UK doesn't pay their doctors much compared to the US, he could have moved to the US at any time and made hundreds of thousands of dollars for the amount that he was getting paid in the UK. And he's forced to quit. He has filed an appeal with their system saying that it's a religious grounds that he's not going to recognize someone's preferred pronouns in a medical situation, and says that especially in a medical environment, being aware of someone's sexual characteristics is necessary. However, that will probably be denied because the UK is a sinking pit of filth and disgust and degeneracy, and no good things happen in the UK. So such is life. Just a small Brit Bong update. Mostly what I want to talk about in the news today are four very kind of coinciding updates in regards to major platforms. So first of all, I did not know this, but apparently Discord last month rolled out, or started talking about rolling out usernames, and I find this extremely weird. I don't know what the purpose of this is. One of the nicest things about Discord was that you could fix Odyssey. If Odyssey is not working, I cannot fix it. Sorry. I don't know what to tell you. That's Odyssey's fault. Yeah, sorry. It seems maybe you click reset stream, but it's working exactly as it has been before. So I don't know what the purpose of the of this is, because one of the nicest things about Discord is that you could just make your name Josh, and then you would be Josh number 46,000, and you wouldn't have to be forced to come up with a different name. Like if you're trying to make a character on Path of Exile, your name has to be something like Josh Hardcore Solo Self Found League Name or something, because they enforce unique names across all characters. So you just add up like a ton of fucking gibberish at the end of the username and try and make it something unique. So it's always been nice that you could just have the name that you wanted on Discord and not have to fight over usernames. And so they got rid of that, and it's sort of a mystery why. However, I believe that they probably intend to monopolize this market soon after releasing this. This is Player Up. There's also Swapped and a couple other different platforms that sell usernames on different social media sites. So if you want to have the username Keck, you can pay the nice price of $50,000, and you can be the only Keck on Discord today. However, there's a couple more interesting ones. I'm honestly tempted, even though I don't even use Discord, to buy Retard for $15,000. Depression, also a smooth $10,000. However, Femboy Sex, that is Femboy Sex, is available for $10,000. And I think out of all these different names, the one most likely to sell first is Femboy Sex. I think that has the right market and it's at the right price for that market. Thankfully, I'll never figure out how much Sneed cost on Discord, because if I did, I might have to buy it. Furry games. Oh, some of these suck. Jack and Ben sold. Who knows about Josh though? So I think 'cause this is something that Twitter does. Twitter made it so that you can buy if you like if you're like a major brand, you can buy your name. I'm aware that for the country of Israel, there was someone who actually had the first name Israel and they registered the name Israel and they've been using it fairly because that's their name. They didn't squat it. But they managed to sanction like an auction with the state of Israel for like over $1 million for the Twitter handle Israel, and Twitter took a cut. So I think that that's probably what they're gonna do to make some more money. Is just sell like the simple usernames that people are squatting or whatever the fuck. But that's just Discord. The other more interesting thing that people have been talking about is the Reddit shit. If you are fortunate enough to not have any fucking idea what's happening on Reddit right now, Twitter a couple months ago rolled out changes to their API. This was one of the first things that Elon Musk did. There are a huge ecosystem of third-party apps that use Twitter and its API to function. And Elon Musk has made it so that you have to pay a lot of money to use it. You have to pay like 10 cents per query, which used to be free. There were like some caps on how often you could use the API, but there were like thousands of requests a day as opposed to paying per call. So now it's extremely expensive. A lot of third-party apps on Twitter have shut down. However, Elon Musk has cited something interesting. He said that the Twitter API has basically been misused by other gigantic tech companies to pull all sorts of data off of Twitter and use that to build machine learning and otherwise like compile intrusive profiles on users and shit that use Twitter. So his rationale, I guess, is solid, even though it fucked up a lot of people. However, Reddit's motives are probably even less genuine than Twitter's. If you don't know, if you ever try to access Reddit on mobile, and mobile users are probably, I think, 60% or more of the market now. Like almost the majority of people use a mobile device to browse the internet. Majority of, I'll rephrase that because a lot of people use both, but there is an increasing number of people who don't have a computer who just use mobile apps, and 60% or more of all web traffic is done over mobile. So it's a huge audience. And when you install an application, you give it permission to read things about your device and give it more personal information. It's just a nice boon to have when you have access to that much data. And it helps with circumventing bans. If a device can tell you its unique ID through special APIs on the phone, so it helps with dealing with alt accounts and shit. And it basically just gives Reddit information about your marketing profile that is useful to its advertisers, which is the most important thing that it has when it gets on your phone. So if you ever tried to browse Reddit on your phone, you will be prompted to download the app. And if you try to browse any board which is marked not safe for work, which includes a lot of boards which are not pornographic but are just considered not safe for work for whatever reason, either due to theme or some other contrived bullshit, you'll be forced to download the app and log in to access that content. This is not the case on the desktop version of the site. So one way to get around using the atrocious Reddit app is an intrusive Reddit app is to use one of the 8 million different Reddit third-party software applications, which just use the API to use the site, and that allows you to bypass the Reddit app officially, very easily. Reddit is killing its API effectively. They are making the API so expensive that it would be impossible for any third-party application to do what it does currently for free, and is actually so expensive that it would be pretty much impossible for any third-party application to do what it does for a price. Meanwhile, the Reddit app will be free for everybody, except free in the sense that you're giving them your information in exchange for using the website. So it is basically impossible for any of those applications to continue to exist. However, even more insidious than that, which is on its face pretty fucking nasty, it will break all moderation tools because automated systems that have been policing Reddit for free on behalf of the community without any involvement of the administration use the API to make moderation decisions. So any sort of API based work that would involve the moderation tools will be broken because they can't afford it. And what's also particularly interesting is that even with the fee, you will not be allowed to use Reddit at all. You will not be able to use the API at all for not safe for work boards. So this is what I believe is the actual intention behind this, is that Reddit has admitted in its investor meetings and its advertiser like pamphlets that pornography is the predominant use of Reddit. It is like I want to say more than 50% of their traffic is specifically for pornographic areas of the site. Not even, just not safe for work, but pornography especially. So even with API, you will not be allowed to visit the pornographic areas of Reddit, even if you're paying for it. And and what they say about this is that it is for the protection of women and content creators, not women. They don't give a fuck about women. And that might have something to do with revenge pornography laws, because in 2022 they, as part of the omnibus spending bill, updated the Violence Against Women's Act, which included a non-consensual pornography clause, which comes down pretty hard on revenge pornography. So I think that on their face, they're saying that this change is to make it so that nobody can scrape the not safe for work boards and archive those. And I'm not sure what the point is, because like the men who browse that can still save those images. It's not like it goes away. I guess it just can't be automated. I guess like some people are just in this state of mind that they can put things up on the internet and then take it back down later when they regret it, and that, it will actually be permanently deleted. I mean, it could be copyright. I mean, copyright is on its face one thing, but yeah, there's other concerns. Like they've been operating for 10 fucking years with its previous rules. Why is copyright suddenly their concern? It's more about squeezing money out of people. And Louis, I don't know if his name is Louis or Louis, but I'm gonna say Louis Rossman, who I've been watching a couple of videos of recently. Probably my favorite person of melanated distinction at this point in time, pointing out that probably what they're trying to do is just to get people to stop using the API. It's a service that they begrudgingly offer, and they're just going to make the price such that nobody bothers to pay for it, and they just use the Reddit app. And that's probably true. So the subreddits, they have had a blackout, which is the typical Reddit Janny protest when whatever they're pissed off about, they start to lock their subs and leave a little shitty little message saying, we're locking our subs because we're very angry about Reddit right now. Ooh. However, they plan to make it a 2-day protest, which is not going to do anything, because they know that those subreddits are going to come back in 2 days, and so does everybody else. So it's like, you don't have to do anything. Just wait 2 days and they'll be fine. And however, though, that has not stopped Reddit from launching coup d'etats against the non-compliant subs, the largest subs on the site that are currently in revolt. In particular, Our Advice Animals has had its top mods permissions removed by Reddit admins. Their decision to join the blackout was reversed, and now the sub has reopened to the public. The Wholesome Mod team has protested this, actually, and said the rule that an inactive top moderator may not make the unilateral decision to close down a large active subreddit against the wishes of the active mod team is years old and first applied in 2018 against Kotaku in Action. And then there's a link there. So they are filling the ranks with Spez loyalists and then claiming that the decision is against the wishes of the mod team and replacing the disloyal Jannies with the loyal Jannies who are willing to do what they do for free with allegiance to Spez and the status quo, which is pretty funny. So in summary, I believe that they are disadvantaging their users for the sake of squeezing more money out of pornography addicted people who make up the majority of their user base, because they can sell more advertisements and get people off of third-party applications, which may be removing their ads or replacing them with their own ads. And everything else is just a casualty of that. Then third, on my big platform update, YouTube is going after Invidious, which is a way of viewing YouTube videos outside of the YouTube ecosystem. YouTube has becoming increasingly a pain in the ass. Their advertisers are off the wall. I'm just gonna break Reddit or YouTube TOS this stream, and I'm gonna delete it afterwards because I'm not gonna restrain myself when I say I keep seeing in archives people asking, why is this archive channel running ads? I can't believe that they're going to monetize Josh's channel. I do not run ads. None of those archive channels run ads, and you should be using ad blocker. And that's against YouTube TOS to say. You always browse YouTube with an ad blocker. And I think that even with your TV and phone, you can get ad blocker with something called Pi-hole. I think that Pi-hole used to block the Kiwi Farms. But with the Pi-hole DNS now, I think that you can get around that. But you should basically always be running ad blocker, and you should instead support people that you actually want to support directly, with their Patreon or whatever the fuck they run, or by buying merch. Advertising as a industry needs to fucking collapse. Advertising is one of the most disgusting things on this planet. It fills me with rage. And YouTube is going out of their way now to try and ban ad blockers, ban viewing videos outside of their ecosystem, shake off any kind of third-party application that's doing things that they don't want to. And they're running advertisements for third-party content creators. Like, if I run 30 seconds of a pop song on this, here, watch this. Hold up. Any pop song, then the video gets ads. All the archives are monetized, and you see ads, and the money goes to the fucking rights management company. It doesn't even go to the singer. It gets monetized by like BIM or the other one, the two huge content creator or intellectual music industry rights holder organizations. It goes to them, and then they take their cut, and then the singer gets like a pittance from that. So always, UMG, always run BMI and ASCAP. I don't know if that's the right one, but yeah, always run ad blocker constantly. And hopefully Nvidia says that they're not going to bow out, and they're going to hand the code off to whoever they're going to want to do, and they're going to send their money to if their developers are gone after, they'll send their money to other developers, and they'll continue the project, and they'll move to GitT if they have to from Nvidius.io, and they'll fight it tooth and nail because fuck them, which is pretty based. However, YouTube has also made big moves in like the last couple weeks against the Daily Wire. So despite how little Ben Shapiro's hat is, they're still going after the anti-trans people on their network. The infringements that were cited against Michael Knowles, Candace Owens, and Matt Walsh were not using pronouns. And Matt Walsh as a whole has been demonetized, which he says is going to cost him over $100,000 a month in revenue. To give you an idea of how much money he was making. So despite how optimistic things seem for the anti-trans shit at the moment because of how loud people are being against them, how this seems to be the Pride Month that broke the camel's back, I am not seeing nearly as many rainbow avatars as I used to. I'm really, like, the amount of Pride shit this month seems to be way, way lower than last year by, like, orders of magnitude. I think people are really fucking done with it. But despite that, YouTube is still holding the line and hurting people where it hurts the most, which is by going after their pocketbooks. And until the credit card companies, MasterCard, Visa Card, Discover, Amex, are completely and totally destroyed and alternative avenues of sending and receiving money are set up, they will continue to do that because we have bottlenecked our entire economy behind four of the most evil companies that have ever existed in the history of mankind. But the fight's not over, is my point. This is also something I got from Louis Rossman. I was corrected. He is black, so his name was not pronounced in the French way, I suppose. I will read this real quick. And the gist is that his Amazon smart home revolted against him. The sequence of events that led to this digital exile began innocuously enough. A package was delivered to my house on Wednesday and everything seemed fine. The following day, however, I found out that my Amazon Echo Show had signed out and I was unable to interact with my smart home devices. My initial assumption was that someone might have attempted to access my account repeatedly, triggering a lockout. I use a fairly old email address for my Amazon account, and it's plausible that my old password might have been exposed in a past data breach. However, I currently use the strong auto-generated passwords via Apple and employ two-factor authentication with an authenticator app. So unauthorized access seemed unlikely. I checked my other accounts to ensure I hadn't been compromised. All seemed normal with no flood of notifications from Microsoft Authenticator that would indicate an attempted breach. Puzzled, I followed the advice of the Amazon app and dialed the customer service number it provided. That's when things began to take a surreal turn. The representative told me I should have received an email, which I indeed found in my inbox. It was from an executive at Amazon. As I dialed the number provided in the email, I half wondered if Amazon was experiencing some issue and I was unwittingly falling into a scam. When I connected with the executive, they asked if I knew why my account had been locked. When I answered that I was unsure, their tone turned somewhat accusatory. I was told that the driver who had delivered my package reported receiving racist remarks from my Ring doorbell. It's actually a Eufy, but I'll let that slide. Here's where things got even more baffling. First, I have multiple cameras recording everything that happens on my property. If the driver's claims were accurate, I could easily identify them with video footage. Second, most delivery drivers in my area share the same race as me and my family. It seemed highly unlikely that we would make such remarks. Finally, when I asked what time the alleged incident occurred, I realized it was practically impossible for anyone in my house to have made those comments as nobody was home around that time at 6 p.m. I reviewed the footage and confirmed that no comments had been made. Instead, the Eufy doorbell had issued the automated response, "Excuse me, can I help you?" The driver, who was walking away and wearing headphones, must have misinterpreted the message. Nevertheless, by the following day, my account was locked, and all my Echo devices were logged out. I have to say, and I mean this sincerely, if you have these smart devices in your fucking home, you are the apex of nigger cattle. You fucking disgust me. I actually, literally hate you. I hate you. I don't want you listening to my streams. I hope you jump off a fucking cliff. And if you want to fix your house, I want you to take them and I want you to burn them. Do not take your Amazon Echo and throw it away, write it off on taxes, and give it to a Goodwill or some shit, because these things should not exist. You should physically destroy it in your backyard using either fire or percussive instruments such as a hammer so that they cannot function anymore. By the way, he uses everything in his home was shut down because a man of melanated distinction misheard his automated doorbell chime, and that's all it takes. You don't have due process with mega corporations, so take it and fucking break it. Do not accept gifts from your family. Your family says, "Hey, I know that you're like computer stuff. I bought you an Echo." Don't accept it and explain to them that this device is fucking cancer, and they just tried to give you a bomb that was set to go off in your house and spy on you and shut off all your applications and shit. Like, don't even be nice about it and accept it and smile and say thank you. Give it back to them and say, "Return this. It is fucking awful. You just put in my lap metaphysical evil that I do not want anywhere around me or anyone I care about." And that Eufy shit that he uses, by the way, is also cloud. I was looking at security shit. All the Eufy stuff is cloud. And supposedly the last generation that what's his face, Linus Tech Tips was promoting, it was supposed to be completely like offline, but then they were still sending images off to the Amazon Web Services in China, I think, to process images and put them on your phone so that you could get notifications. And then when Linus Tech Tips called them out for the fact that they were not completely offline and they were using AWS to process images because they were using that for phone notifications, instead of saying, "Oh, we'll fix that and we'll just make it so that those phone notifications are optional," their next generation of equipment is 100% online, and it doesn't work at all if you're disconnected from the internet. So what the fuck is even the point of a surveillance system for your home that doesn't work if your internet doesn't work? You know what you do if you want to rob a house that has this shit for home security? Apparently, you just cut the Ethernet cable, or you take one of those signal jammers and you put it in your backpack, and then everything is offline because it uses Wi-Fi. Like what a disaster. I'm honestly curious if there is a surveillance system that has that's completely offline. Like, are there any? Are there any that don't require the internet to function at this point in time? If there is, let me know, because I'm really curious. Linus Tech Tips was using something else, by the way. He switched over to I think I have a bookmark somewhere. Homebase? Oh, that's Eufy. I'm not sure what he switched over, or maybe it's Ubiquity that he switched over to. I don't know, but I'm really curious if there's one that's actually complete Unify. I'm not sure. I'll look into it. I've been looking into it. Closed circuit television, maybe. That's a pain in the ass, though. It would be nice to have like facial recognition stuff that's like on the firmware, so that you can record faces and stuff on your own computer. It's not that it's impossible for these technologies to be made practical in consumer goods. It's just that they don't want to. They want your shit to be plugged into the cloud and always feeding in information. A fucking 10-year-old GPU can do machine learning fast enough to recognize faces with open source technology that's out there right now. It's completely possible to make home surveillance systems that don't upload to the cloud. They just choose not to. It's really disgusting. So I am curious if there's a company out there that actually does cameras that have convenience features baked into the firmware that do not need internet access and can run on like its own network. So I don't know. Email me, send me your Linus Tech Tips. I'm curious, but definitely don't use Amazon. For the love of God, don't even live near people who use Amazon. That's the news. Next up, chat. I got some content, I think. Some Troon content. Dylan Mulvaney has been spotted in public. Here he is. He wows in a pink mini dress and cropped tweed jacket at Paris Hilton's concert after shrugging off Bud Light controversy. Look at that. That is a man who has spent thousands of dollars of Anheuser-Busch money to try and look more feminine, and to no avail. Look at those legs. Such a woman. Look at this picture. He looks like honestly, he looks like Joe Biden in this. I don't know. I think that maybe Joe Biden has had facial feminization surgery, because they look like brothers. You know what I mean? A cryptid, a slender man. Yeah, it's true. It's true. He does look like a cryptid. Maybe Joe Biden's a cryptid. Look, okay, it's funny that you mentioned cryptids, by the way, chat. It's really funny that you do that, because I after last week, I took a little bit of a dive into the deep end of something called SCP. And I would like to read you 2 SCPs that I found that you may find interesting. This one, just for the memes. This is I'm going to do this creepypasta cryptid hour, chat. You ready? SCP-5962. SCP-5962 is an obese humanoid resembling the McDonald's fast food mascot known as Ronald McDonald. It weighs approximately 5 tons and is 4 meters in height. The specimen is naked, except wearing only yellow gloves and red shoes. Its head is notably large, having a diameter of 1.3 meters. A layer of frying oil covers its skin, which is constantly secreted through its pores. Despite its humanoid appearance, SCP-5962 is genetically identical to cows. It clarifies Bos taurus over here, so you know the Latin name for a cow. It lacks numerous internal organs and instead has 27 interconnected stomachs of varying sizes that serve no biological function. SCP-5962 does not respond to any stimuli, and as a result, it is not considered sapient. It is dormant for the majority of its time. However, once a day, it will be active. SCP-5962 will unhinge its jaw before producing packaged items from the McDonald's menu from out of its mouth. The items appear ordinary, but upon closer inspection, they comprise entirely of human biological matter. Class D personnel report no difference in taste compared to regularly produced food from McDonald's. They experience no adverse medical effects. The entity produces around 10,000 kilograms worth of menu items per day. It is not currently known how SCP-5962 produces such large amounts of food. Genetic analysis of the food are matched with multiple living individuals that report no unusual activity. SCP-5962 was discovered in Beijing, China on March 23, 2005. It was kept within a packaging facility owned by McDonald's Corporation. Food and frying oil produced by the entity were being collected and then distributed across McDonald's restaurants within the country. This is very racist, actually, if you think about it. Well, what? So all the Chinese people are eating McDonald's made of cartilage and ligaments, hair, skin, and nails, liquefied fecal matter. And to be honest with you, the coffee from McDonald's is better than Starbucks. I want to see the SCP that's making the Starbucks food, because I think it's got to be a real beast if the McDonald's monster is making better food than it. How about another one, chat? SCP-1004 is adult content only. And from what I understand, there were lots of adult, like, sexual SCPs that were not, like, age gated at all. So when all the little kids were finding out about SCP through Roblox and shit, they just stumbled upon this on accident, and there was no warning. SCP-1004 is a computer program found either on a CD or a 3.5-inch diskette, either of which will be hand labeled with the words factory porn. Contained on these disks is a single executable file labeled thefactory.exe, a 1 kilobyte program. So Mac fags and Linux fags need not apply. The program runs perfectly on all platforms. I want to know how that's possible, because that's an executable file. That does not work on Unix-based systems, okay? I don't know. It's an SCP. It's spooky. Don't question it. Running the program results in a window operating on the computer within which the factory logo is displayed. The logo fades to black and was replaced by the words, "What would you like to see?" At this point, the user may input any selection of words from the ambiguous to the precise. Once a request has been input, the program will set up several dozen images of pornographic content, each of which leads to a full video on the subject. Many of these videos appear to have never been made in real life. Watching videos on SCP-1004 has a cumulative effect. The more pornography a user views, the more disturbing their sexual desires become, and the harder sexual gratification becomes. After approximately 100 straight hours of viewing pornography on SCP-1004, even the most normal of viewers will display an interest in scatological play, the torture and murder of living people, bestiality, pedophilia, and combinations of the previous. The deadening of reactivity to sexual gratification will encourage them to seek out such things with other people or to mutilate themselves and their genitalia. How? The censors did not know there was a reference to transgendering in their enormous library. I'm sure this will be changed now that I made fun of it. But that's what I was getting at. By the way, I looked this up. Someone pointed this out rather on the forum. If you go to history and you look at the history of this, and you go back to page 3, which I think is the earliest, you'll see that the original author of this is Edmund Bright. And I just so happen to know, ladies and gentlemen of the chat, that Edmund Bright is currently banned from the SCP Wiki because he was grooming underage users that were using the wiki. And he may or may not be a troon. I don't know. But it does seem like maybe this SCP was based on true events. Although I do have to admit, it's pretty interesting that he predicted machine learning. But I think it's a little bit telling that he decided to write this. Very sus. Very sus indeed, chat. The most sus thing of being that an exe file is going to run on Linux. Rule number 42,069. Dr. Bright is not to be allowed around children unsupervised. His name comes from Dr. Bright, and they renamed it because he's a dirty Chester, and they don't want that to be one of their most famous stories to be associated with him anymore. Now, this is a bit of an uplifting story. Now we're going to be uplifting the chat. We're going to be lifting the mood, elevating the mood. Call of Duty removes Nick Merck's skin from shop following anti-LGBT plus comment. When I heard about this, and it was one of those where I heard about this actually, I was listening to Wings of Redemption for whatever reason. I was watching one of his streams, and I heard people in chat asking about his opinion on it, and I'm thinking, okay, what? I wonder what this is. So I end up looking it up, and I had no idea who this guy is or whatever. And all the reports are like on big platforms. Apparently, this guy is like a really, really popular streamer who plays one of the most normie games ever, and he has a massive normie audience. And they're all saying, Call of Duty bans Nick Merckx and removes original content from store following hideous LGBT comment. And I'm like, what the fuck did he say? Because they weren't listing it. Eurogamer was the first article I read that actually linked to what he said. Guess what he said, boys and girls? In response to apparently there was a fight outside of a school in California over the school recognizing Pride Month officially between parents. There was like an actual fist fight that police had to break up in the protest. Puckett replies saying, "This happened 4 blocks away from my Overwatch League apartment. Americans are in a sad place right now. Let people love who they love and live your own life." Now, Face is like a friend with this guy because he actually apologized for bringing so much attention to him for this tweet. But he replied and said they should leave little children alone. That's the real issue. That's it. That's all he said. And he's banned from, or like disassociated with, Call of Duty by Activision Blizzard. That's it. That's all he said. And then there's replies to this. One of them was funny. That's this one saying, "This was incredibly harmful and wrong to say. The gays are hurting your kids," is the tired ass claim that folks with feeble minds have been saying for decades and decades now. It's not new. Reminder that the average age of first sexual encounter for a gay man is 13. They reproduce by molestation. It's sad to see someone with as big a platform as you so uneducated about this, Nick. Those wide guys in the matching white t-shirts aren't Glendale parents, and no one is targeting kids except the alt-right propaganda campaign designed to make LGBTQ people seem like an enemy. And so on and so forth. So what was his, the pendulum swings. It's on him now. Can he save his career? It's time, chat, to apologize. It's time to buck break Nick Merckx. Bring him to his knees. Pucker up and apologize.
Simply feel that I want to be the one and my wife wants to be the one to speak with our child about stuff like that. And that was the tweet. That was the tweet. You can take the tweet if you want, and you can spin it, flip it, flop it, quote tweet it. You can put 10 paragraphs on top of it. You can do whatever you want to it to make you feel better if that's what you want to do. But that was the tweet, okay? So if you came here to hear that, I hope you feel a little better about it. I didn't mean to upset anybody. I know that I did. I'm not apologizing about the tweet because I don't feel like it's wrong. I'm going to stand by what I said. I'm not going to delete the tweet. You know, I just want to make sure everybody understands exactly the point I was trying to make by tweeting my response. You know, and I do want to apologize to Puckett though. I feel like I might have brought a little bit of shit his way, man. I didn't mean to do that, but.
Base, what is it? Call of Duty streamers. Where are they at? Now, I don't know. Maybe he's just a fluke. Maybe Call of Duty streamers are not the base normie chads that we may assume that they are just from this one example. However, Nick Merckx has a friend, apparently, named Tim the Tat Man, who says, "Nick Merckx has been my friend for years. We went to getting our Call of Duty operators together. It feels wrong for me to have mine and him to no longer have his. In support of my friend, please remove the Tim the Tat Man bundle." So this man, after getting financially penalized by Activision Blizzard and removed from their operator store as a customizable character that people could buy to support him, Tim the Tatman has also decided that his part in Activision Blizzard is unjustifiable considering their stances against his friend, and has voluntarily tanked his own relationship with Activision Blizzard to tell them to go fuck themselves. So good on them. Isn't that amazing? That there's camaraderie in the ranks of our armed forces on the internet. The real armed forces, the armed forces that I respect the most. The boys keeping us safe from you can't even call them terrorists anymore. In all the modern Call of Duty games, it's like mercenaries. They can't say Russians. They can't say Muslims. They can't say Nazis. I guess they try to say Nazis every so often. They bring back World War II or World War One. But nowadays, it's just like the Blackbeards versus Corporation IX, and they're fighting in Durkistan, or not Durkistan, but the Davashnovich, or a fictitious place somewhere in the former Soviet Union. So anywhere between Berlin and Vladivostok, there is this fictitious town full of unrecognizable people from all races and genders around the world, and they're fighting for generic corporate greed interests because they can't attach any faces or names to anything. Uralstan, Durkistan, Tarkov. Yeah, that's Tarkov. Tarkov. I don't know. I can't get into Tarkov. Seems a little bit gay, to be honest with you. Nothing gay about these bros being bros, though. Good to see some fighting spirit. If only Wings of Redemption was in Call of Duty, he could also piss off gay people. All right. I have a little bit of locale stuff. Burning through this suspiciously fast. I guess I can stick to my my intentions of keeping the stream shorter. Under 2 hours again. I want to give a huge shout out, and I won't play all of this, but I will play a little bit of it, just to kind of tease people. A user named Kill Alpitos, he has a forum account, but he's also just sort of been like a nameless, faceless identity within the like A-log sphere for many years. Occasionally he put out a couple videos that were like rehashing gym quotes to zombify Medicare. However, he seems to have moved on past that and is putting his talents to better use. This video is 75 minutes long. It is demonstrably, obviously, just watching it, a lot of work put into it. It is a very succinct explanation of America First. It's pretty funny, and it involves like all the different characters in it. I will play like a minute or two of it so you can see what I'm talking about in terms of like the amount of effort this guy's put in.
Gay, welcome to America First. We got a great show for you tonight.
Good evening, everybody. We're watching America First. My name is Nicholas J. Fuentes. We have a great show for you tonight. I'm here with my friend Kanye, and we have a lot to talk about tonight. Lots to get into. It's been a pretty crazy week. And I'm actually not going to be covering the news tonight because, honestly, I am the news this week. I do have a big announcement. Now, I know what some of you people are thinking, okay? And no, it's not that I'm gay. Everybody already knows that, okay? Duh. But what I really want to talk about is the plan. For years, I have been telling you, trust the plan. America First is unstoppable. The things to come, the plan is so good, but it's a long plan. So you just gotta trust. It's unfortunate, but I hear you. You know, some people are thinking, what's the plan? What are we doing? Look, here's what's up, you know?
I'll leave it there. As you can see, he has rotoscoped Nick Fuentes into a live action puppet that he can make say whatever he wants, and it's pretty amazing. Okay, so that's that. I didn't want to play too much of that because it is a proper 75 minutes long. It's pretty great. The next thing, okay, so it's already been spoiled by Twinkletard because he donated $100 before I got to this video. During Fish Tank, which I was not able to keep up with because of issues with the site that occupied my time, and literally I'd never watched any of this still. There was at some point a woman introduced named Betty, who was supposed to be a doppelganger for Letty, and then she was quickly kicked out. Apparently she got into a fight with Sam Hyde or something. And now that Fish Tank is over, all those people have become streamers. And Betty streamed to like 250 people now. And after closing her stream, she decided to raid iDubbbz, who was closing up on his own stream. And as a result, iDubbbz had a sort of an unusual reaction, which I'll now play for you.
iDubbbz is ending. All right, let's go.
If you don't know, just to clarify, they're on Twitch. When you raid somebody on Twitch, it kind of sounds hostile, but all you're doing is you're closing your own stream, and maybe you have a friend who's still streaming for another hour or two. So you just say, okay, I'm gonna raid him, and then you send all your viewers over to that other person, and that's a way of like supporting them by giving them your viewers, and it's beneficial to your viewers because now they have like similar content that you endorse to watch when you're offline.
Raid. And then, is this how we do it? All right, let's go.
Our little warm WoW session.
Cozy WoW session. Ooh, I like this pet.
Beat 'em up, beat 'em up, beat 'em up. I got
What
Reese's
is that?
Puffs in my bowl. Nowadays on cruise control. I got Reese's Puffs in my bowl. It's just like
Man,
that.
this thing is loud.
Warlock? What are you doing?
What's that?
What are you doing? What's loud?
They're now
Oh,
spamming
fucking
fish in the
raid.
chat, by the way.
Oh. Whoa, you got raided.
Or they do.
1 second.
He was only streaming to 250 people on his own, and then when they show up, they start saying fish and shit in chat to announce their presence. And you can just see on iDubbbz's face, like, look at him. Look at how angry he is. Okay, I'm just gonna let this
Don't
play.
let the raid fool you. Finish the YouTube video.
He says basically nothing, and the only time that I'll show you the waveform actually, because I was clipping this for the soundbite for the donation alert thing, and as I was clipping it, you can see the peaks. That's all Aniza, but you can see for 7 minutes he's basically stunned in silence and anger, trying to figure out what the fuck to do with what's just happened, this raid. And I guess he wasn't expecting.
Canada's still on fire. I don't know what Ian's doing. He's like in maximum concentration mode.
She's like making fun of him. I didn't even pick up on that. She doesn't even know that he's like seething. She's like bullying him as he's doing that. So he basically just stays silent for the entire time. Betty apologizes actually because again she's not on good terms with Sam Hyde, and says, just to be clear, bothering iDubbbz and Aniza the Greasy with the raid had nothing to do with Sam Hyde or his whole nothing burger of a personal issue with iDubbbz. As many of you have noted, Sam and I don't particularly get along. The only real grievance I have towards iDubbbz is surrounding Chris. Other than that, I don't give a fuck. I have my own life. I don't give a fuck if Sam Hyde is mad at me. So apparently she did that and it pissed off. He's probably filing a complaint of Form 56B with Sam Hyde for violation of his agreement not to cyberbully him anymore after cucking out in the YouTube video and begging for the merciless bullying to stop. And so that's Sam Hyde probably sent her a message and in response said, "Don't fucking bother iDubbbz. You're making me look like an asshole or something." So that's what happened with that. I do have a timestamp for this though. I think. Sam, where is it? Here. He breaks his silence 4 minutes and 38 seconds in. So about 4.5 minutes after she raids him.
A little bit delirious, so I don't. I made it when I was a little bit delirious, so I don't exactly know in what order I should be doing things.
Oh wait, maybe a little bit before this.
Sorry guys, I gotta queue up this 1,000 sub special. I made it when I was a little bit delirious, so I don't exactly know in what order I should be doing things.
Oh, I forgot to point out, if you look on the right-hand side, you'll see the room is now in subscriber-only mode, and then he accidentally makes it emote-only mode, so you can only reply with emotes, and then he ends that. Emote-only mode is like the hardest level of cucking your chat so that you can regain control over it. Because you can only reply with... It'd be like if I only made it so you could only reply with the pooner or fingernail painting emoji. That's basically what it does. So he went through, and then that 4.5 minutes, I think that was banning every single person that was responsible to the raid. And actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, he was probably filing a report with Twitch right on the spot, saying that this person's associated with the evil neo-Nazi Sam Hyde, and was trying to cyberbully him, and his feelings got hurt. And it's funny. I think it's coincidental, and it's not like deliberate that she managed to do that right at the 1,000 subscriber goal. But that's what happened. 1,000 subscribers is pretty good, though. I think that it's $4 or $5 per sub usually, unless they get like a higher tier, and then you keep half of that as the streamer. So that's $2,500 a month at that level for watching him play World of Warcraft and be humiliated by Aniza live on air. You can just see how much he's enjoying his life at this exact moment. So yeah, that is that. I think I had a little extra note about this. No, I do not. That's all. Now, to torture you with more video content, Chantal has just been mukbanging. In fact, I will show you this. She has been doing literally nothing but binge eating on camera day after day for weeks at this point. She's no longer even trying to do the whole I'm on a diet thing. And instead... Uh-oh, did she delete this? Oh, this bitch. If she deleted this video I'm about to play, we're going to find out. You ready? Oh no, is it unlisted? Why does it not show up on her video list? It's a private video. No way. Is it gone? You fucking cunt. Oh, I'm mad. I am mad. Okay, hold up. No. No. Come on now. Not doing this to me. Give me a second. Hopefully, chat, the girls have archived this video. I see that Chantal's thread is getting some replies. Let's check it. This isn't happening. We will not let this stand. You are going to see. It is one of the rules, but I didn't assume that she would delete this because it had been up for a couple of days at that point. She's even made a community post saying that she was making a part 2 on this. I'll show you that because I remember seeing that. Hi, I'm going to do a part 2 of the Miserable Girl World imitation soon. I will do a compilation this time and make it a longer video. I'm not sure all the people of the girl world now, so what do you want me to imitate next video? She's asking for information. I don't know why she just fucking deleted the other one. Okay, let's see. Page 2. I'm scamming through it right now. Hopefully there's an archive of it. They archive every video she posts, so there's no way that it's not there. Iranian food mukbang. Okay, here it is. Yeah, the Chantal thread is like the most thoroughly archived in the entire site. Okay, I'm downloading it now, chat. I'm downloading it now. Let's Pigorobs. 18 seconds, chat. 13 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, it's downloaded. You're ready. This is worth it. This is worth all the effort. You're gonna think it's hilarious, and you're gonna think, "Wow, Josh, I'm so glad I waited for like 3 minutes for you to find this video."
Crackhead, cokehead, crackhead, cokehead, crackhead, cokehead, crackhead, cokehead. All right. 3 days I have not reviewed this bitch. This dumb bitch got a cat. I'm not going to talk about that. I just won't do it. She got married to provoke us, and she moved to Kuwait to provoke us, and now the bitch got a cat to provoke us. Anyway, I don't know who wants to watch this crap anymore, but the proof is in the numbers. I don't know. I can't really react to this shit anymore.
I'm laughing at the guy in chat who's screaming at me to get help.
Anyway, let's watch this bitch and her nasty, horrible man. Ugh, I hate him. He's so creepy. I can't stand him and his hips. His hips!
You know what's funny? Is that this is actually a really good impression. French Fried Girl is like an amazing midwit, and she has this army of people who only watch her to like stream snipe Chantal. So every single time Chantal goes live, doesn't matter what time it is, doesn't matter what time it is, because she's in Kuwait, which is in European, like Ukraine hours, and like UTC +3, and so she's hours and hours ahead of French Fried Girl. And it doesn't matter what time of the day, French Fried Girl will boot up a stream and start stream sniping, because that's how she makes her super chat money. And she's just like extremely crass and vulgar. She just watches it. Like, doesn't matter if it's 3 hours, and just says, "This fucking bitch, this lying bitch," like super angry. It's like, chill the fuck out. Like, everything's the biggest deal ever, and it's really grating, annoying to watch. But I laughed. I thought this was funny because it's a really great impression. Lufaringo has repeatedly said in chat, "Hi, Jersh," and I will now answer that. Hello, Lufarigno. I hope you're doing well, my friend. I hope you feel gratified. I look forward to part 2, chat. I will play it on stream. Okay, this is also great. And when I say great, I mean absolutely atrocious and impossible to listen to. I haven't talked about James Stefani Sterling in a long time because his videos suck. There was a little while where he made like 2 videos where he was doing okay. The videos were kind of longer than they need to be, but they were like kind of a return to form. They were just a little bit shitty. But he very quickly gave up on that. Unironically, or without exaggeration, rather, not unironically, but without exaggeration, every single video that he does now has at least 5 direct references to him taking estrogen and his penis, and that he sucks dick. Basically, every single video and every single joke. He used to have all these bits where he was he would have like all sorts of little comedy bits and recurring gags that he would put back into his videos, and those have all been replaced with just the punchline being, "I'm a man whore. I take estrogen. I have saggy bitch tits that are really big. My penis doesn't work anymore. My balls are soft," he says. And that's it. That's the joke. Haha. Peak comedy. This one is about Bobby Kotick, and it's an old drum that he likes to beat, and it's worth beating because Bobby Kotick should be basically thrown into a pit of burning tires at this point in time. However, there's a particular point that I have timestamped already that I will play for you because I found it very funny.
Except maybe the man himself and his family,
and even that's uncertain,
denies that Bobby Kotick is a monstrous little man whose abusiveness, nastiness, heartlessness, and greed has earned him the ire of the masses. There's been a not insignificant pushback to that ire manifesting in the particular expression of photoshopped horns. This is on account of Kotick's Jewishness and the historically anti-Semitic implications of portraying Jewish people as devils, which, you know, It's fair enough to find that link more than a little uncomfortable. The Gymquisition stopped adorning Kotick's visage with demonic accoutrements for this very reason, as despite the clear fact it's specifically about Bobby Boy as an individual, some viewers were nonetheless uncomfortable, and I really don't need the aid of infernal embellishments to make the point that Robert A. Kotick is a despicable fucking wanker. He's also started calling those photoshops anti-Semitic himself. Like, he's worked out that play, so don't give him the ammo. That said, whether we do this with horns or via some other method, we absolutely, positively need to ensure that Bobby Kotick's dating life remains hilariously fraught with the ever-present threat of women finding out how much of a cunt he is.
So I did not know that Bobby Kotick was Jewish until Jim Stefani Sterling did a based and red-pilled early life search on him and pulled up that he was Jewish for the sake of making sure not to portray him as an anti-Semitic. I don't know how the fuck devil horns are anti-Semitic. You put devil horns on anyone that you don't like. I don't know how that became an anti-Jewish trope, but okay, I guess. I guess portraying Jews as demonic entities is anti-Semitic and uniquely offensive to them. If we really want to go that way, we can do that, I guess. There are other timestamps for this. Two more. Be warned, this is really gross. If you are a Serbian man who finds offense in disgusting shit, you may turn around now. Actually, I'll show you that too. This is an example of the jokes he makes.
Every union you come across. Just hand wave the reason away. Oh yeah, didn't play by the rules. Moving on. It's about as informative as me saying I don't suck every consenting cock I'm offered, just the ones that make me want to really suck dick. Shit, that reminds me, I was in the middle of something before I started recording. Oh my god, Keegan, you've been stood there the whole time. I'm so sorry. Hold on. There we go. Sorry. Fucking ADHD. I swear, next time I'll finish you off before I check my emails and then get distracted and do an entire script. Okay, you're a pal. See you next week, Keeks. Bobby Kotick's idea of playing by the rules.
But he likes to complain that YouTube keeps demonetizing him for sexual content. He did an entire video. Literally, his entire last video was about how unfairly his video was marked as adult content because, and how that penalized him in the search algorithm. How YouTube censored the Michelangelo. He said that the Michelangelo was considered sexual content. So now he just does dick sucking like bits in his video. And he's going to complain more when that's marked as not safe for work, I guess. And one more thing. This one's not gross. It's just offensive, I suppose.
Women's champion. While I was off doing wrestle fighting. Thank you so much, darling. And, still PCW Women's Champion, by the way, Commander Stephanie Sterling. Yeah, at Pride of the Ring 2, I did successfully defend this title. Before we go, just a little bit of promotion for my
Oh, I was unironically muted for once. So that's like his favorite thing to do now, is that he's like 6'6", 300 pounds, and he loves to just beat the fuck out of women and then make fun of them and hold his wrestling trophy. And he just says that he's the best, and that's like his new hobby. He literally, I think he even says that he moved twice. He moved from Louisiana up to Chicago to be closer to the indie wrestling circuit, and then he moved back to the United Kingdom where there are like these inclusive wrestling circuits. So he moved twice. He moved back to his home country of the United Kingdom to get away from bigotry and to be closer to wrestling, so that he can beat the fuck out of those angloid femoids and declare himself champion. And that's just his hobby, which is pretty funny. Yeah. So next. I will only touch on this for the sake of including it, because I feel some people will be remiss if I don't include it. Dream did a video saying that he regrets doing a face reveal and he's going to be taking his face off the internet. And a lot of people have taken that to be like a Streisand effect thing, where he's just going to go around DMCAing every website that has a copy of his face. However, I don't think that that is the case. He's just deleting his, all that he mentions down here is that he's just going to delete those videos from his social media and try to reclaim his privacy. He doesn't say that he's going to go around DMCAing people and shit. So I don't know. I think it's probably just like a joke or like an attention seeking bid, which is why I'm not too interested in talking about it. Okay, now this, I don't know. This was the last thing I was putting together for the stream before I went live. I was trying to understand what the fuck has happened with this. And I'll try to talk about it as informed as I can. But keep in mind, this is the last thing that I was adding to the stream because it just happened. And I don't fully understand it. So there is something in the smoldering ruins of IP2 has come forth a sort of autistic little brother of IP2. And it's called the commentary community. It's super paused. It's super fucking gay. And it includes some of the least interesting humans that have ever existed. It has like Tipster, Augie, RFC. Is Tipster the guy that I think runs the Buffalo Wild Wings? Who is the guy that is the little league coach that goes to Buffalo Wild Wings and has a throne there? The Tea Chasers, Turkey Tom, I guess. Nick DeOrio. I think he's also considered commentary. So there's like all these people that you're vaguely familiar of because they were associated with Keemstar and would sometimes show up on the kill stream when it wasn't complete shit. And they're just like nobodies. Apparently Augie likes me, and that's nice. But he was like a Keffel's dick sucker for a long time, and he's finally apparently broken ranks with the Troon Chasers. Oh, I remember. Okay, so what happened is that Tipster, who is a avowed tranny cock lover, was outed having a alt account on Twitter named something like, let me find it. I have it written down somewhere. I do not have it written down somewhere. His alt account was something like Big Swingin' Horsecock or something. And he made a tweet that says, it was Bo Blacks? Okay, it was Blow Blacks. Blow Blacks had a Twitter account where, sorry, I completely forgot about Blow Blacks. That's like a different guy. There's like 8 million of these fucking people. So Blow Blacks is like, he has an alt account called Big Swingin' Horse Stick, and he keeps talking about how big his penis is. But one of the tweets that he made was something directed at Keffel saying like, trans women aren't women, but I would still fuck the shit out of them. Don't take that out of context. So Blow Black said this, and it started like a huge debate bro thing, and all the debate blows and Blow Blacks were talking to each other about this tweet and if it was offensive. And then Augie RFC, there was no context. He just said that, wait, Turkey Tom has come back to defend her prostate. What a grand reentry. He heard his name mentioned and just come to defend her honor. I'm pretty sure that's a joke. Okay, so I will play these clips. Actually, let me read this. Okay. Punish Neko says, I can't believe Bo Blacks? What was I saying? I was pronouncing that differently. I always thought it was Blowbacks or Blow Blacks or something. I don't know. He has the dumbest fucking name on the internet. I can't believe that Bo Blacks was getting canceled by Keffel's for racism due to old song lyrics, digital blackface. I know Keffel's requires drama as the victim says to sell irrelevant, blah, blah, blah. All decided to do to defang Keffel's entire argument early on by openly admitting to being transphobic just to throw Keffels off his game. Keffels then immediately shows that they shouldn't do live stream debates by struggling to say anything of substance. Augie rips Keffels on this fact. Now the question is, chat. Ooh, I should try to preload these. I don't know if I'll be able to. I was struggling to get these saved all fucking day. I may not be able to play the clips as a result of it. If only my site wasn't dead and gay. Yeah, I might be fucked. I have a feeling, actually. You know what it is? I'm gonna shift the blame on this. I remember trying to download them, and these clips were each 5 megabytes long. So if we just take, I'm gonna just pull out a calculator here real quick. You take 60 seconds and divide that by 35. Or is it 35 by 60? That is 0.58. So that's like, what? 6,000 kilobits per second? That's a lot. It should not be that big. That's a lot of bandwidth. I'm just saying, can you I'm gonna even email him. I'm saying, can you fix your fucking thing so that you're not wasting so much hard drive space with your fucking bullshit? Okay, hold up. Maybe I can salvage this real quick. No. Oh, actually, this first one is 62 megabytes long. So for whatever reason, that is ridiculous. Dude, I'm legit leaving this guy a fucking nasty profile message real quick. All you have to do, go to cadenlive.org and then clip your shit and then save it at a resolution that's not, fucking 2160. Bro, just clip videos using this shit and export as MP4. Works every browser, and you won't have 66 MB 60-second clips. You fucking mongoloid. Thank you. Heart. I try to educate people and it never works, Joe. I suffer every day. No wonder why it's not gonna fucking. Okay, here, let's try it. Let's see how far along it gets.
How did I come to that conclusion? Because you said you're transphobic today, and you just said you believe the same things today that you did yesterday.
You're refusing to answer the question.
You're
10 seconds on. Okay, so chat. Unfortunately, due to Punish Neko specifically and his immense failure at re-encoding these videos in a format that anyone could possibly fucking hope to download off goddamn Tor, as if this is the appropriate time to be uploading videos in 4K at the highest bitrate imaginable. You may be unable to listen to some of the most annoying fucking people on this planet. Look at this shit. Look at this fat cunt on the top right named Timster. Look at this. You see this? This is that SCP I was talking about. The person that's made of cow flesh and vomits up food made out of feces. That's him. And he has insightful commentary about transgender penis and what it tastes like. And unfortunately, due to Neko and his inability to clip, you will be denied that quality content. I'll let you stew on that for a second. I'll let you let that sink in. Oh my god, 2 minutes. 2 minutes. I'm downloading a 66 megabyte file off fucking Tor, and it's going to take 2 minutes.
Actually don't even know how to make an argument. It's so funny. For somebody that pretends to be a debater of trans issues online, you can't even prove how I was transphobic before this call.
Okay. Hold up. Should we wait? Maybe you know what I'll do? I figured it out, chat. I will let these load, right? And then I will come back to them after I've talked about other stuff I have downloaded. This is what we're going to do. I'm going to try this. This is something I've never done before. I do have... Now, of course, I remembered to download the Ralph clip. This is something I would not forget. Actually, this is less about Ralph than it is than somebody else in this video that I want to dab on for a second. Let's play it.
I will tell you that a million times. It's the most abhorrent fucking thing you can do to a child, and as somebody who deeply cares about children, I do not want pedophilia to be a thing that is normalized or engaged in.
Yeah, you know what? I don't give a fuck about children except the two that I have. I don't care. Like, what? Take care of your own fucking kids. Like...
Okay, that's the clip. That's basically him just parroting what Dick said. Like, I don't care about other people's children. If other people's children is getting raped, then what impact does that have on me? Doesn't bother me. It's not my kids, and I don't have kids. So therefore, all forms of pedophilia are completely and totally irrelevant to me. The rehearsed statement by Vito the Pedo that I've heard like 3 or 4 different times. Every single time he gets in a conversation with more than one person, someone says, "Wait, aren't you that guy that's like a pedophile? That's like an open pedophile on Twitter talking about how you're a pedophile." And he goes, "I've said this a million fucking times. I don't fucking care. You know, it's most a horrible thing. I love kids, but not in that way. No homo, no chomo." And he has to like live on his knees now, constantly repenting and begging for forgiveness. But he's not even doing that really, because if you don't remember, his original claim on Twitter was that someone was saying like, virtuous pedophiles know that we should look but not touch, or something to that effect, which is the virtuous pedophile thing is the thing that they briefly tried to push on like Salon. This idea that we can add pedophiles to the LGBT, since we're already doing trannies, why not add pedophiles outright? And it didn't work. People were really disgusted by that, and they said it was a bad idea, so they aborted that scheme. But there was, for a brief period of time, a virtuous pedophile movement where it was basically like, I'm a pedophile, but I know it's a bad thing to do. So even though I'm attracted to kids, I said, no, I know not to touch them because it's bad for their development. And I love kids so much, I don't want to hurt them. Ooh, I'm virtuous. And this was something that they were literally trying to add into LGBT for a brief amount of time before they realized that it would probably result in everybody involved in the LGBT movement being set on fire. So they aborted, but that movement didn't disappear. And Vito ended up repeating it on Twitter. And when someone asked, so when you say we, what do you refer to? And he clarified that by we, he meant including himself. And since then, he's had to constantly apologize for that and try to backtrack it, and it never works. But even when he says this, I'll repeat exactly what he says so you can hear what hear it again.
I will tell you that a million times. It's the most abhorrent fucking thing you can do to a child, and as somebody who deeply cares about children, I do not want pedophilia to be a thing that is normalized or engaged in.
Yeah, you know what?
He doesn't deny it. Maybe I cut it, it's clipped in such a way that the words "I am not a pedophile" are like clipped out of what he's saying. But he's still just repeating the virtuous pedophile thing. He says that it's a bad thing to do. He loves kids, but he knows that it should never happen to a child. And it just sounds exactly the same way. You know, it's just he's repeating in such a way that it makes it sound like he's saying that he's not a pedophile without literally denying being a pedophile. Because if you're not English, you have a part of your brain that makes it so that it's difficult to lie. So if someone's caught in a lie and they're trying to get out of it, what they'll do is they'll say something that sounds like a denial without actually saying anything that is a lie. And this is like a tell. Like if you're a Jim Can't Swim person, you watch crime interrogations, they'll point it out sometimes that they'll say things which are technically true as sort of a denial to sort of get out of a question that they don't like without having to actually deny it in a lie. But British people don't have this part of the brain. British people are also psychopaths, and they can all lie flawlessly, and they don't feel any shame, and then they believe their own lies. That's why they are terrible, and they're not white, and I don't want anything to do with them. JCS inspired, exactly. Okay. Oh, but I was going to say, in regards to Vito, like, it's really gratifying to see this fucking sick piece of shit have to cry and sob constantly about how nobody likes him because he's a fucking freak. And I told Dick, by the way, before he hooked up with Vito, even when he was just talking to Digibro, who was an open pedophile via Lolicon. He said that he wasn't into real kids, but he loved jerking off to little girls being raped. I said, you can't walk this back. You know, shit that I said when I was 15 gets brought up constantly. You can never, ever, never, doesn't matter what you do, what you say, how you behave, how you live your life, who you know, how much you clarify or apologize or whatever the fuck. Nobody will ever let you live that down, ever, for the rest of your life. And I told him this, and he could have just avoided the issue. But then even after this, he did the whole fucking cuties thing. And he doubled down on the cutie shit was okay, and it was the best thing ever, and he doesn't give a fuck about other people's kids, and public schools are worse than Hollywood because more kids get raped in public schools. And then he met Vito while doing this, I think. It was around this time that Vito started getting really involved in the streams. And now he's like a permanent fixture. I don't think a lot of people even know this, but Dick basically, a lot of people remember the biggest problem in the universe with Maddox. But he's tried to revive the biggest problem in the universe with Vito. And it's like nobody ever talks about that. The only time I've ever mentioned this new reiteration of the biggest problem in the universe was when Vito was crying about how thankful he was that he managed to crowdfund like $40,000 for his shitty comic book. And what's really funny about that is someone left me a shitty comment once saying, I can't believe Josh is taking the side of the black guy that Vito is feuding with. Bro, I don't even know anything about this. I just know that Vito should be curb stomped American History X style. That's it. Like, I don't know anything about who he's feuding with, who the black guy is, the merits of their comics. I don't give a fuck about any of that. I just like seeing Vito cry. I don't need to take a side. So fuck you. It was talking about some guy named like July or something. His name was like July Childs or some shit. Some weird, it was like Julia Childs, but like blackified or something. I really don't know. Eric July, that sounds correct. So, yeah, I definitely was not taking the side of him. I just am. I mean, honestly, $40,000 is too much for Vito. Vito should not be getting money for anything that he does. All right, yeah, Eric July. Okay. I now have a couple of the Ology clips, so we can try to listen through them. Are you ready? Despite Neko's best efforts, I managed to download this caught in 4K, high quality footage.
How did I come to that conclusion? Because you said you're transphobic today, and you just said you believe the same things today that you did yesterday.
You're refusing to answer the question. You actually don't even know how to make an argument. It's so funny. For somebody that pretends to be a debater of trans issues online, you can't even prove how I was transphobic before this call today. I just told you I was transphobic, and you're saying, there you go, there he goes, right? But you couldn't prove it until I said it for you.
Because I asked you if you believe the same things you believed today yesterday. If you believe the same things you believed today yesterday, that means that you had
transphobic on Tipster Stream. So why'd you call me transphobic on Tipster Stream? How did you come to that conclusion? What led you to that conclusion?
Okay, look. Ology sounds like he is trying. If he is a machine learning model that has digested 16,000 hours of Destiny taking Adderall and trying to epically own people. I really thought this was Destiny at first, and then I clarified that it was Ology. It is Ology that's talking, right? It sounds just like Destiny. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but it really does sound like a machine learning program trying to imitate Destiny. I don't mean that in like, oh, he's definitely trying to imitate Destiny. He needs to stop like a gym walker or whatever the fuck. It's just like, I don't know if that's intentional, but it sounds like that.
Look.
Are you crying?
I don't think that either of us are going to be able to come to a reasonable conclusion when you're this heated. No.
Are you crying?
No, I'm not crying.
You sound like you're crying.
No, this is just something that you do because you want to the dominance of the conversation.
You're crying.
Like, you're unable to come at this from a logical perspective. You need to get emotional.
You haven't been able to make a single argument this call. Your argument is, you're a bad person. You are bad. Okay, well, do you have anything to substantiate that, or are you just gonna paint labels and pretend like that's an argument?
I never called you a bad person.
You just called me transphobic. You think that's a bad person. So explain to me why you thought that.
Why I thought what?
Why did you think I was transphobic on Tipster Stream?
Why did I think you're transphobic? Because you are. I know this.
That's not an answer. You're not answering the question. You actually can't make an argument. Wait, you actually can't make an argument. There is a million things you could say to make an argument. You can't think of anything right now. Are you high on coke?
He sounds a lot like you know what he sounds like? He sounds like Flamenco and Destiny like blended together. Hold up. I took a picture of something real quick. Let me find it. Look at here. Dude, this guy is fat as fuck. Why turn that camera off? How does this benefit you to put your fat fucking face out there? Really? Like, for real? I don't know anything about Tipster except that he was like once friends with Keemstar, and I think he's like a tranny chaser, but damn, what a fat piece of shit. It's actually shocking that people watch this guy. How do you watch someone so fucking fat? It inspires me to lose more weight. Jesus fuck. You gotta stay on top of shit, otherwise you might look like Tipster one day. I'd rather be fucking dead. Okay, this is part 2. Let me see what the stupid cat person posted about this. 10 minutes later, Audrey makes fun of Keffel's labels but no substance. Acts if Keffels is going to deplatform him. Keffels decides to huff his own farts. What do you stand for that is so much fundamentally greater than what I stand for? Okay, let's hear part 2 of the debate bros. I'm curious where this leads to. I will ban the cat if all these clips suck.
Bring up new points because you haven't brought up anything, so I can do that.
I've brought up enough.
You
the problem is that you don't care.
You have labels. You have no substance. You have no substance. You actually have less substance in this call than the call that I'm listening to between Bo Blacks and Tipster. It's actually hilarious.
Blow Blacks. Such a stupid fucking name. Who the fuck would name themselves Blow Blacks? What a retard.
You okay?
No, I'm fine. It's just funny, man.
Is it funny? Are you having a good time?
Yeah, no. It definitely really confirms a lot to me.
So what are you gonna do now? Are you gonna like deplatform me or something? Like, what's the move here? I mean, all you've got is just labels. So like, what do you do beyond that? Just like fucking get me off the internet, kick me off as like I'm the next Nick Fuentes? I mean, I have a lot of arguments. What do you
stand for that is so much fundamentally greater than what I stand for? I don't understand.
I'm a fucking YouTube commentary piece of shit. I just talk about stuff online and have fun. However,
okay, that's him. I mean, what do you need to stand for something on the internet? I guess when you're like a washed up like tranny icon that is now in disgrace because you're like a drug addict who keeps spending $100,000 of charity money supposedly to fight the police on your binge. After nearly 20 minutes of being absolutely embarrassed 1v1, Keffels leaves and call mid-sentence and comes back in with Tipster as backup, so the fat man himself will make an appearance. Wait, hold up. I'm gonna do something real quick. I'm doing another thing, chat. Give me a second. Okay, I take this and then I need a brush. I'm currently in the midst of trying to use GNU Linux for the purposes of a meme. Will this be a huge embarrassment? Will this work? Oh fuck yeah, this is working now. Hold up. It's a little bit finicky, but I'm doing it. Okay. Take the square tool now, put that in like that. Okay. We're coming in. My meme's coming in hot. Get ready. Okay, imagine the music is playing. Imagine an alarm is blaring. The music is loud. Oh my god, something's happening on the screen here in a second. A challenger has appeared. He's a big chungus. Who could it possibly be? Who is the challenger approaching? We don't know. I did not spoil it already. Okay, OG clip 3.
But I also don't really trust you to be good faith in the conversation.
Then why'd you call in?
Because I wanted to see something. Because I was really...
You wanted to see something? What the fuck does that mean?
I was really curious. Oh, I wanted to figure out like what your opinion was of the situation with Leafy.
Amazing. They left the call. Oh man. Oh, they've called me with Tipster. All right, chat. Should I join the call with Tipster? Fuck it.
Hello.
Big Tipster! Where's Tipster?
So much yelling. I want to hear the fat man.
So Keffels has now fled a call from me and called Tipster for backup. This is some...
Look at the people in his chat. She's so cowardly. There's a couple people who are based. I'm speaking through the ether. I'm piercing the veil. Draftle is based. She ran Muldoon, not based. You're fucking gay. Shame on you, Muldoon. But Draftle, he's my boy in this other chat.
Really cool stuff right here.
What's going on?
Well, that's it. That's all I get of my Tipster content. Okay, the cat continues. Algie later decides to add Oreo to the call to make it a 2v2. Not that it was really needed, and Keffels immediately kicks him from the call and asks Algie to invite someone else. Kicks him again before finally allowing him in. Okay, here we come. Our boy. I think I might be reading the messages in the wrong order. I don't know.
Like everybody's acting like I backstabbed Bo Blacks, and that's not what fucking happened.
Don't backstab Blow Blacks.
I mean, you were letting Keffels just completely smear his image online.
Sensitive Society. I don't know who the fuck that is. Says tipster cheats on his wife. Don't forget that. I can't imagine. Imagine the audacity of this man to think I'm too big for one woman. I need two. I need me a harem of women to satisfy my voracious appetite.
Even though you've defended Bo Blacks in the past when similar people have made similar arguments, you know? Oh, nice. Keffels, by the way, just kicked Nick Dior out of the call. Keffels is a pussy. Oh, shit.
Ew. I don't want to hear those words in the same sentence. That literally makes me kind of nauseous.
Damn! So you add tips to the call, but when I add other people, you won't let them in?
Bring in someone else. Bring in bro.
Are you mad? Are you mad? Are you mad? I'm gonna add Nick to the call again. Yo, what's up, Nick?
What the hell, man?
Destroyed. Okay, this is the last one. You ready? Keffels complains about the chat spamming total tranny death and is laughed at for knowing what it means. TTD, rather, and for knowing what it means. I don't know what that means. Only you do. Sounds like you read more Kiwi farms than I do. Proceeds to then say they don't know how to find Kiwi farms now that it's on the ClearNet right now. Then kicks Oreo. When Oreo returns, he comes with the banger response. You can find meth on the dark web, but you can't find Kiwi farms.
And in response to Augie bringing up me, people are spamming in chat TTD, which stands for total troon death. Like,
that's not what it stands for.
Keffels, I don't know what the fuck that means. Only you do.
That's not what that
sounds like. You read more Kiwi farms than I do.
It stands for.
I don't actually even know how to get on it.
Oh no! Look, the chat. Luna Lizzie is deleting the base TTDers in the Augie RFC fat. I have identified Augie, I'm making a report right now. Give me a second. I'm filing my report. Okay, listen. This right here. I'm gonna identify for destruction. I'm reaching through the veil yet again. Where is it? I have identified this. This Luna Lizzie, I hate to break it to you, is a troon. They must be destroyed. They must be eliminated. They must be gotten rid of. It's no good. It's bad news. You see them in the chat conspiring against your own users. Poor innocent Sturmgeist Achzin has been betrayed by Luna Lizzie, and you know why. You know where their true allegiance aligns.
Now that it's not on the ClearNet.
Oh, I'll rewind it a bit.
Stands for.
Now that it's not on the ClearNet.
What did I do?
It stands for.
I don't actually even know how to get on it now that it's not on the ClearNet.
Stands for total tipster domination. It stands for total tipster domination. It stands for total tipster domination. The chat's actually pro tipster right now. I don't know if you knew this, but my chat's actually been really against me since I've started the tipster arc. So they're actually cheering for tipster right now.
It's just so sad. Like, tipster, isn't it sad how much of a pussy he is? He can't stand for what he believes in.
Keffels, you literally just kicked Nick out 20 times in a row while you just added Nick, or when you added tipster.
I did. And I gotta love the way.
Shit. Are you a pussy?
You gotta love the way they over exaggerate, like the way that Nick said I'm responding to every comment in my comment section. That didn't happen, but okay. What's up, Nick? Welcome back.
How can you find meth on the dark web, but you can't find Kiwi farms?
Oh, it was Nick the Oreo that said that.
It's
okay. I must rescind my bullying of Nick Diorio. I don't know if someone gave him that line, but that's really funny. Nick Diorio is no longer a minor league baseball coach at Buffalo Wild Wings waiting for a plate of hot and spicy tendies for him. He is instead the coach of a major league baseball game that goes to Longhorns and gets a nice 44-ounce steak. We have elevated the man to a higher echelon of debate bros, where he belongs, for coming up with a good one-liner. Olive Garden. No, that's the pits. That's where you send people. Fascinating. I feel like I'm an egg being poached. I'm being dumped into the boiling water, or whatever the fuck this shit is, where Keffals is still relevant and people line up to make fun of him, except for this guy, this fat schlub who would suck a tranny dick. Isn't it shocking knowing what they look like, what the chasers look like in real life? When you see those people saying, actually, trans women are women, that's it. This is the face that's typing that message. Actually, if I were to date a trans woman, that wouldn't make me gay, because trans women are women. That's the face. That's what it looks like. Okay. There is actually one more thing. I downloaded this clip from elsewhere. If I can find it. I think this is the part. Augie RFC pronouns. This is it.
It's not enough. So fuck it. I don't care anymore about fucking pronouns or any of this shit. I don't. And I'm sick and tired of pretending like I have to. I don't. It's meaningless. It's nothing. It's never enough. And you can sit there and say, oh, well, there he goes, mask off or whatever. It doesn't change shit. They've been calling me transphobic my entire fucking career. So fuck it. I'm going mask off. If that's what it looks like to you. Oh, yes, when mask off. Yes. Yes. But you're.
Okay, that's pretty nice. It's nice to see that the slow horses, the donkey race that's been going on in the Keemstar adjacent community is finally like, yeah, these meth addicted trannies and their fat retarded chasers are really just up to no good, and they'll never accept anything short of total submission as good enough. Sure is shocking that they're like this. If only we had any way of knowing about this at any point in the last 6 fucking years. At least nature is healing. However, I have to admit, I have found content lacking, and as such, I will be putting Neko, whatever the fuck his name is, into the bag and throwing him off the bridge. Very, very unfortunate things have to be this way, but I can't. I just can't live it down. Okay, I do have. Oh wait, hold up. I have been given something at the last second. One of my inner circle has provided to me content, which I will now attempt to watch. This is from TikTok.com at Just So Tippy video. Let's check it out.
As I'm sure a lot of you guys are aware right now, there are a lot of people who are big mad on the internet because the makers of this beer, Anheuser-Busch, decided to use a trans influencer to promote their products. Never mind the fact that they, as part of this marketing campaign, hired a ton of different influencers from various different backgrounds to promote their products, but because they hired this one trans influencer, suddenly that's enough to boycott the company. Now, quite frankly, as somebody who's a regular drinker of beer, I don't give a fuck who promotes my beer. They can choose whoever they want to promote the product. I just drink beer because I like drinking beer. But I think it's really silly that there's so many people who are mad about this whole ordeal because they can't accept that, yes, trans people drink beer too. And I don't have a problem with that because I prefer to treat all people like people. Cheers.
I just realized. Look at this. Look at that. I didn't notice that in the big Chungus thing because it's so dark. But look at all those fucking toys and shit in the background. So this man is on TikTok uploading videos of himself drinking beer and simping for trannies in a room of filth and garbage. Look at this. Look. Oh, dude, he has a box of the figure. That's the person from that fucking video game, that anime video game, that Haru. That's the person that Ralph hates. He has a Haru Okanami figurine from the anime game. Oh wait, that's Catherine? I thought that was Haru. Oh, I was not excited anymore. I don't give a fuck then. Sorry, I thought that was Haru. I thought that was funny, but no, it's not funny anymore if it's some other gay shit. They all look the fucking same. Japs really think that all white people look the same, huh? This is embarrassing. Look, he gets like 100 views on his videos too. Is this guy like completely irrelevant? How many views does this guy? I'm really not the type to be like, oh my god, he doesn't have any viewers, so his points aren't relevant. Tipster, Twitter. I think I looked this up before and I laughed at it. I'm remembering this now. He has 5,000 followers on his TikTok where he drinks beer to epically own the transphobes in his room full of child vinyl product. Get like 400 views each. This is pathetic. Bro, you got to kill yourself. I'm already at TOS this episode, so I'm just going to say it. You're fucking sad. You should find a rope. I can't say that. That's not, if he does it, I might be in trouble. I'm just saying, if I was you, here, I'll frame it like this. If I was you, I would have no impetus to live anymore, and I would find a rope thick enough to hang my fat ass, and I would jump off a fucking chair. What a sad existence. Only if I was me, of course. You do you. I'm not implying that you should do anything. But if it was me, I would have trouble getting out of bed. I mean, I'm sure you have trouble getting out of bed. I would have enormous, not just for physical restraints, but the mental agony of waking up each day would hurt me. Just saying. All right, let's continue on before I get striked live. Special content, the Reddit moment. I have endeavored I have endeavored to find some extra bonus Reddit content. Because everyone liked my last one, so I have something special. This one's not as funny, but it's really sad. Well, this one's just funny. This guy is just a troon that plays a bunch of video games, but he says, and this I'm looking at an archive because the original was locked or blacked out. Sorry, the Destiny Fashion subreddit is in protest right now with the Reddit shit, so I had to find the archive. But he says, my journey of discovering myself as trans has led me to cut ties with my male titan who I've had since Season of Arrivals. A female one is now in his place, absolutely dreading regrinding Behemoth and Berserker though. And then he shows off his Destiny Fashion. As you can see, Mr. God of War 7 might have to change his name to Mrs. God of War 7 at some point. But he's got the trans icon, and the trans icon's holding like it's like a trans thing. So I guess if you're the kind of person who has Funko Pops lining the back of your house, and you cheat on your wife with trannies, you're playing Destiny, and as you're playing with other people, you just see trans shit. Oh, I didn't even notice the trans thing holding the icon, the BLM tranny fist that's holding the lightning bolt like Zeus. You just get to see that while you're playing, and you have no opt out. You are just forced to see that constantly. I mean, at least in Dead by Daylight, when I'm the killer, I can tunnel the Troon flags extra hard and make them suffer for their choices. In Destiny, you have to like co-op with these people, so you don't even have the choice to like block them and make them upset. But such is life. So this other guy, Fiery Baptism. This is his first post that's available on Reddit from 2 years ago. Says, how do I get this indoctrination out of my head? An RX Catholic. He says, sometimes I feel like the only way I can possibly be happy is by forcing myself back into the church. I could just allow its rigid structure, reject being transgender, and live a conventional life where I don't feel constantly out of place. I feel incomplete without the church, and nothing has been able to replace it. I get so caught up in the I'm going to hell for XYZ and feel like shit. It feels like I'm going to hell and I can't do anything about it. For so long, I thought my problem was that I lost faith, but then I'm realizing the problem was having faith to begin with. I was tricked into joining a cult, and now my life has felt empty since I lost that cult 7 years ago. I've tried filling that hollow space left by Catholicism with sex, pornography, alcohol, romantic entanglement, self-harm, politics, philosophy. None of them work, and I feel incomplete. Being a trans woman just makes it all the worse since I feel like I'll never pass as a woman, making me feel like I should stop transitioning and run back to the church. The church was the only place where I felt a sense of community. It felt like someone loved me and was looking out for me. But I realized that if God did exist, much like my dad, he was physically present but totally disengaged, cold and spiteful. I just want the indoctrination to go away. I want to forget about how good it felt going to mass every week, how good it felt to altar serve, how good it felt to be loved and cared for in my life. How do I make all these thoughts stop? How do I figure out who I am without Catholicism defining me? Wow. If I really wanted to go to fully unpack this, I could unpack a lot about this. However, I want to laugh at this part in particular. If God did exist, much like my dad, he was physically present but totally disengaged, cold, and spiteful. There's an old Common Filth quote from the Tumblristas where he said that a lot of this shit is just fuck you, mom and dad. And this is like a perfect quote for like a Tumblristas episode about fuck you, mom and dad. So much like this is just anger at your parents manifesting into like how you treat other people in other communities and organizations in your life. This is a sad story, but it's like it's so crazy that it's real, because this feels like something a troll would set up. And there's more. I have more posts, but it feels like something a troll would be doing. But I've read through the profile, and I'm totally convinced that it's not a troll. In this post, it's in True Off My Chest. He's a very frequent poster in childhood PTSD, RCPTSD. But in this one, is about my brother abused me. My parents didn't care. So from the ages of 6 to 13, he was physically and sexually abused by his brother. And apparently, when he told his parents, they didn't do anything to stop it. And then it continues. This post, in our adult survivors, I'm worried I'm trans just because of rape. Long story short, I transitioned male to female over 2 years ago. I realized I was trans because I felt uncomfortable with my genitals and I felt like I wasn't a real man. I wouldn't say I regret it, but there's a lot of times I wish I could have just been a normal guy. I wish I could have been admirable and looked up to instead of a freak. I still feel like I'm just a failed man. I don't know whether I still just haven't let go of all my masculine programming I was fed growing up, or if I really am a man, but I don't feel like I deserve to be because of what happened. I guess I'd appreciate some guidance if anyone has any. This was January 30th, and this one about the Catholic Church was November 13th, 2021. This was January 2022. And then this post is, I think, March. So 2 months after that post, he posts this. In RD Trans, I have permanently fucked up my life. I'll never have fully functioning genitals again. I can never have blood children. I am the antithesis of impulsive, but the one time I do act too quickly, I end up fucking my life up. I am an outcast. I am unlovable. What was done to me as a child isn't to blame for my choice to transition, and neither is anyone or anything else. The blame is on me because I walked into that clinic and made my decision, and I made a horrible fucking decision. How can I trust myself ever again? How can I be certain about anything if I feel so certain about that? I'm a fucking nutcase. What am I living for? I just have drifted through my life so far. The only place I belong is a jail cell because it feels like it's a matter of time before I hurt somebody. I'm so damn angry at everything and I want revenge against the whole fucking world. And then, I think 2 months after this, in May 10th, so yeah, 2 months after this, in our porn addiction, 228, clean for 228 days, threw it away. 228 days. I've come so fucking far, and I fucked it all up for something so fleeting and unrewarding that just makes me feel like shit at the end of the day. And then my brain has the audacity to want to go back and watch it again and again, even though I've established that nothing good comes from this. I seriously wish I didn't have a sex drive at fucking all. So this guy starts realizing, literally realizes that he misses the church and that a lot of his problems are psychological. Quits pornography. Starts to detransition about 100 days free of pornography. Breaks that. And then after that, by the way, he stops posting. This is on May 10th. He says, what helped you break your cycle of eating disorders? He says that he increased his med dosage to kill appetite. And then he says that he moved in with his partner last weekend, as a depressed addict. Says I've fallen into a pretty bad depression instead. It's the worst it's been in a while. My stuff is all over the place and I made their home into a giant fucking mess. I'm looking for a job since I just graduated from college. He's like really young, like 24 years old. But I always dismiss any job opportunity I find because I'm afraid to fail. To top it off, I relapsed on porn addiction today because I don't have anything else to make me feel good besides that. They'll come home from work soon and I'll have to explain why my apartment doesn't look any better than this morning, why I didn't do the dishes, why I just relapsed. I'll have to tell them how I'm depressed now that we finally get to live together again. Sometimes I wish they'd just hit me or yell at me or assault me again. Again. just so I can feel something besides all this depression. It's a matter of time before they kick me out and I'll have to move in with my parents or go to a residential facility somewhere. I wish I wasn't such a fucking parasite. And then that's his last post 11 months ago. Pretty, it's just, he has like everything. Like, he is so archetypal of the people that we imagine trannies to be, just like summed up. By the way, he also posts on a depression or a subreddit for alcohol addiction and shit too. So he's like got all the vices. He has an eating disorder. He has an alcohol addiction. He's addicted to pornography, and he knows that led him to transition. And then when he stopped looking at pornography, he detransitioned. He blames this all on sexual abuse. Well, he doesn't. He tries to. He says that it's not that it's his fault, but that's the source of it. It's really sad. And that's kind of my lead-in to talking about Ted Kaczynski, I guess. Ted Kaczynski's dead, and I wanted to write him at some point, but I decided against it because I felt like anybody who writes Ted Kaczynski is going to get put on a list. And I feel bad. I want to write him after his diagnosis for cancer came in. I felt like, I say it on a list. I know I'm already on a list, but I just didn't want to invite problems into my life. And I sat down and I was thinking about what to write him, and I couldn't think of anything. I wanted to kind of outline to him how terrible everything is, and how he's really not even missing anything being in the outside, because it's just like a fucking nightmare. And I decided against that because it's like, I don't know. I didn't want to be too depressing and write a man in prison and say like, nah, really, it's better in there, because it's like, shit sucks. He mentioned in his book that he had gender issues. He was seriously considering transitioning, and this was back in like the 60s. So he goes into one of the first gender clinics in the world that's in Colorado, and he visits the doctor there. He sits in the waiting room, and around him are transvestites, some of the first adopters of the transvestite lifestyle. It's now just called being transgender. And he was literally so disgusted that he like had a psychological break. He quit his job. He moved to Montana, and he started sending pipe bombs in the mail to academics because he was so angry at them for the agenda they had pushed. And he was so prescient in everything that he said. The most important things about what he wrote about in industrial society and its future were about what he called the over-socialized male. And it's true. That is the issue. That people are being led down this road where the most important thing in their life is how others perceive them. And it lets people become completely obedient to having people think a certain way about them, and it overrides everything else in their life. It overrides their interest in their performance and their self-fulfillment and starting families and being authentic to themselves, being male or being female even. And it's disastrous. Industrial society and its consequences have been a disaster for the human race. And so I do encourage people to read his book, unironically, because it is interesting. Not everything is very agreeable, and he is I think most controversially, a direct proponent to violence. He explains how the system abhors violence, and how even when proponents of the system engage in violence, such as the police, like with the George Floyd shit, the system will come down very hard on them because it does not want violence. It doesn't even want violence from the system. The system prefers not to use violence whenever possible. If it can coax people into conformity and obedience without violence, it will always prefer to do that. And it will never directly try to use violence to quell things, because violence begets violence, and the system is terribly afraid of violence. It's extremely interesting, very, very thought-provoking, very prescient because of its age and what it says about transgender shit in particular, and over-socialization. And we say except blacks, but the prison system is full of blacks. the prison system is mostly blacks. I think it's despite being 13% of the population, they're more than half of the 3 million people currently in prison right now. It's mostly blacks because the system will try not to tolerate violence from blacks if it can. It's just that black areas are so violent and the police are so understaffed that they can't really enforce the system as well as they can in the black areas. So, yeah, it's not that they tolerate black violence. They really don't. People leftists might tolerate black violence as being rebellion, but the system itself unanimously comes down hard on violence because of, and I do agree with that. I have read The System's Neatest Trick. The System's Neatest Trick is his other writing. It's very good. It explains, again, it goes into detail about how the system, it perpetuates itself accidentally. It's sort of like an organism, as he explains, that has coincidentally, kind of, through sort of coincident. It's like evolution. Evolution is happenstance, but at the same time, it's inevitable. It's inevitable that under certain circumstances, life will evolve to have certain features to overcome those circumstances. And in the same way, the system is brilliant in its design, and it doesn't require design because it's happenstance, but at the same time, the set of circumstances that exist in industrial society force it to exist. It is inevitable that this system will develop itself. And the system perpetuates and it encourages obedience and so on and so forth, almost accidentally. And it's brilliant in that it explains how there is both a conspiracy and also there is no conspiracy in some ways, that so many facets of the system plug into the system and operate the system, but you don't have to demonstrate direct conspiracy between those components because the system just encourages it. And it is self-replicating and ingenious, and it doesn't require a direct meeting of the mind. It just has a way of existing and encouraging compliance and encouraging people and corporations to do what it wants to do without necessarily needing to come out and say, do this. It's really brilliant. And yes, Yarvin is also a lot like that. When he talks about the cathedral, he's basically talking about what Kaczynski would call the system. And it is true. That's the difficult thing to understand, is that when you say that there's like a conspiracy of certain people to perpetuate the system, then people will say, well, there's no conspiracy because, nobody has to reach out to Anheuser-Busch and say, run this gay shit on your Bud Light because that's what we want. It's just that the system encourages it indirectly, and people try, because they're over socialized and for various financial interests, they try to be a part of the winning side, the right side of history, and participate in the system without actually having to be forced to do so. And that is the system's neatest trick. So yeah, I will I'll leave it there. I don't want to go on too long and talk philosophy because I know that's fucking gay and nobody wants that. However, I am considering doing a reading of one of Kaczynski's books for the Gumroad people, because I have been neglecting the Gumroad people. I'll look at that and see. I know I'm not the most talented elocutionist. I'm not the best reader of stuff, but it would be funny. It would be a nice meme. So I may do it just for funsies. And then all those people who said, well, I might read it one day, they could just listen to me instead and not actually have to listen. Okay, and with that, I think I have covered everything. And so, oh, I was going to do the outro song. No, I have donation alert. I will now go into shill mode. And, I will read those. So thank you for listening. If you're not interested in the super chat shit, you can tune out. If you want to stick around, I of course always appreciate it. Okay, let's see. Sign in via YouTube. And recent, I probably should have done this while I was talking, but I was so into it that I couldn't. Saturday, let me get a swig of water, chat. I'm feeling dehydrated. Been doing too much talking. You know how it is. Okay. Okay, Anonymous for 486 says, "Hey Josh, sad to see the passing of Uncle Ted. May I ask you to do an audiobook of his manifesto? It would be Kino." Wow, what a coincidence. Maybe. I feel a little bit inspired to do that. Who knows? It might take a while to. I suppose it would be worth it. Depends on how long it is. I'll look at his writings and see which is like the shortest or most possible to read. Gurney for $101 says, "Hi, what an amazing super chat. Probably the best super chat I've ever received." Thank you, Gurney. I appreciate it very much. Nigga You Gay for 10 says Catbox file, and then it's a move file, which I can't play. 6 gigabyte. Okay, hold up. I'll open this real quick. Let me mute my sound and I'll watch this and see what it is. Okay, fine. I will play this. It's a AI of the white guys. Let me sit on your face, white guys thing. Okay, hold up. I will accept this even though I will accept this even though I should not.
I'm in love with Joshua Connor Moon's farts. I'm in love with Joshua Connor Moon's farts. I want to smell Joshua Connor Moon's farts. I want to smell Kiwi Farms users' farts. Sit on my face, Josh, for $100.
Gross. Thank you. Total Cyclist Distraction for 10 says YouTube link. Oh boy, we're off to a great start. This is gonna be a 4-hour-long stream. Okay, there's a guy driving. He's got a rear view dashboard cam and a front facing dashboard cam. This appears to be in New York based on the orange license plates. Cyclist cut in. He falls down on his bike path. And the driver is laughing maniacally. He's doing a Joker laugh.
I didn't even do nothing. I saw him.
What happened? Oh, he hits the concrete barrier. Why is that there? What is the point of that barrier? To stop cars from coming in? It's like a different color and everything. That's just a hazard to the cyclist. What a stupid thing to put. Pope Urban Pretend says, "Are you concerned that letting chat bait you into trashing Ricada might strain your relationship a bit too much? Don't let chat make you trash your friendship. Nick's best episodes are Jersh ones." I don't know. We don't talk that often. It's difficult because like I haven't watched his streams in forever, and all I see are like these really shitty things that he's doing when like piss drunk, and it's like I feel compelled to talk about them, and it's not entirely like chat forcing me to do it, because there's this one guy that's been asking me to talk about Drakenlord for like 8 weeks, and I've still not talked about Drakenlord. But yeah, it's just weird. I really wish he would just chill out a bit. You know what I mean? But yeah, it would be nice. It would be nice if he was like chill again, and we had stuff to talk about. Sorry if that sounds like a cop-out answer. I don't feel like it's chat's fault though. If that makes sense. Anime for 5 says, "Josh, I have learned that the fine lady who was raped and murdered trying to prove Muslims are peaceful was named Pipa Baka. This is reminiscent of another Pippa who is also a Baka, parentheses stupid. Allah willing, she will also be raped and murdered." That's very mean. Fine, yeah, I will leave it at that. You want the fucking rabbit to be raped and murdered? Okay, yeah, that's pretty mean. But she is an anime, and also maybe not a woman, so I don't know. Twinkletar for $100 says, "Good day, sir. I hear you are in the market for a pickup truck." Okay, hear me out. Baldo for truck nuts. $1 million idea right there. Those already exist. You can put all sorts of stupid shit on the fucking on the a Baldo to put on truck nuts. Okay, I got what you're saying. Yeah, it's $1 million. Pitch it to Baldo. Tell them try to sell them a truck nuts that have a Baldo on. The pinnacle of ball sex truck nuts. accessories. Thank you. Pookie for 5 says, die. No, thank you, but thank you. Nan's Trigger for 5 says, I like money. Me too. I'm so glad we have that in common. Thank you very much. Roxanne Will for 5 says, bark, bark. Parentheses, the only LGBT acronym I recognize is Luna Got Big Titties. Happy heterosexual LGBT month. I do not endorse fraternizing with other furries in the furry chat in a sexual manner and bringing it to my super chats. Okay? I do not co-sign this at all. Forgetful Kiwi for 486 says they blocked passing out ropes in the party chest at the end of the Pride event in Falador. That wasn't. The West has fallen. Oh, you can't put rope into the party. Okay, that was something. Okay, so in RuneScape, there is a party hall in Falador. It used to be in Sears Village, but they moved that to Falador now. And basically what you do is people can load up a chest full of shit, like rare shit and money, and then you pull a lever and the ground is covered in balloons and people can run around and pop the balloons and then they can pick up loot. And it was a formalization of something in original RuneScape called drop parties, where someone would just literally run around the map and drop items, and they had like a little delay before they became visible. So people used to do it like that, and then they added the chest, the party chest, and old school RuneScape with membership only, and you could do that. So they would do that as a formal event, say, oh, it's Pride, everyone come have this nice drop party in the Falador party chest, and people would load it with ropes so that when the Troons were running around picking up their goodies that the moderators had put into the chest, they would instead receive only rope as a subtle indication that perhaps the partygoers at the event felt a specific way. That's sad to hear that that's been fixed. Anonymous for 5 says, hello Josh, I'm working on my feminine cough. Want to hear it? Tell me I sound cute. It's a little loud. Everyone should send in theirs too. Okay, this might be extremely cringe. Let me preview it. Okay, this guy is just a smoker and he's very proud of his dying coughing. I think you need to work on the attack. You just got to make the attack more feminine, and the rest of the cough will follow. Good luck. Colia Dante for 5 says YouTube #hover_area.div _reaction_panel_view_model.style_scope is the filter I use to block the new emoji button. Your blocker might format the filter differently, but that's the div code to use. Oh, he's talking about how to get rid of that shit on my fucking screen. Okay, let's see. I will give you one chance at this. See, I have a giant thing of display none somewhere, if I can find it. Okay, I cannot find it. Oh, wait, there it is. Okay. Display none. Okay. Hey, it's fixed. Wow. Excellent. Get fucked. Thank you. Anonymous for 486 says, I never really watched Godwinson's stuff until recently. He does seem very funny and entertaining, but it's so hard to enjoy him with his wrestling brain. Why does everyone in the sector except you act over the top and sensationalist? Because it's a way to pad out content? I don't know. He calls it showmanship. If you don't act like over the top about absolutely everything, then it's not showmanship, but I disagree. I think it's best when things speak for themselves. Thank you. Second Master 5 says, how do I use this? I think you're using it just fine, my friend. Just fine. I think you forgot a 0. Justice Berg for 10 says, another 20 seconds. Thank you for doing this, Josh. Okay, here we go. This is Justice starting from 40 seconds into the audio. Specifically, Waters of Nazareth. Okay, we're at 1 minute in now. That is very Daft Punk inspired, I would say. Thank you. The Emperor of Sega for 5 says, here at Sega we believe that love is love, no person is illegal, science is real, Black Lives Matter, and most importantly that all trans rights are human rights. I was led to believe these sentiments would be popular with listeners of your streams. Very popular. Feel free to contribute anytime you'd like with similar statements. Thank you. Chocolate Wombat for 25 says, finally catching you live. You have some pizza on me, even if you're going to ruin it with hollandaise sauce. You gave us a place where we can sneeze. The least I can do is feed. Thank you. I probably will do exactly that when I think about it. But yeah, fingers crossed we should have some good news this week, and then we'll be back up. But yeah, it's been a pain in my ass, and I'm just waiting on other companies at this point. Because I'm tired of trying to find new shit to use, and I would like to prop up existing people I know are reliable. So that's why I've just been patient as opposed to being more aggressive when I could be. Though I will become more aggressive and start doing reverse proxying and shit if I have to pretty soon. Burger Mutt for 10 says, you will enjoy this. Pasteboard.co/link to an image. This is quite long. I'm thinking if I've already read this before. I don't think I have, actually. Okay, this is very funny. I will read this. This is bonus content for you guys, I guess, even though it's quite long. There's a nice picture of a pooner watching gay sex. Sex party dysphoria not safe for work. Hi, F to M. Throwaway because my main account had posts, blah, blah, blah. This happened pre-COVID. I was invited to a sex party for men only on a January weekend by a guy I know from my queer group at college. I was really excited to go. He is queer and very inclusive of others and was extremely validated to be asked to join. I asked him if other people there would be so inclusive, and he told me not to worry about it. Vague, I know, but I trusted him. However, at the house the party was held at, it was quite different. 100% of the men there were cis. This isn't a problem generally. I noticed that even I wouldn't fit in, even though I sort of pass. FYI, 2 months ago I had FYI 2 months on T, pre-top and bottom, but I dressed really masked. So completely normal woman, just except 2 months on T. And is flat-chested. The stares didn't make me feel any more at ease. It was like nobody wanted to interact with me, even though I made a lot of effort to talk to people and approach them. They all had this deer in the headlight type expression. They would just end up leaving the conversation abruptly or making some bullshit excuse to go hit on another guy. I ended up just clinging to my friend for most of the night. The only thing I could do is try to ease my nerves by getting more drunks. I'm 21. The party gradually progressed into people taking clothes off, and eventually there was a full-on doing it. My friend tried to convince me to join in the fun after a pep talk that the people there weren't transphobic, just icy. I was feeling more confident because of the Dutch courage anyway, so I ended up taking my shirt off and moving into the main space where everything was happening. People physically recoiled from me when I walked near them and made faces at me. It was like I had a fucking force field around me. It felt like hours cruising around, but it was really only about 2 minutes before I had enough. I cried in the bathroom for like half an hour before my friend found me. While I was in there, a few people knocked wanting to use it, and I told them to go away mid-cry. On the other side of the door, I heard someone even think, I think that girl is still in there. I never felt dysphoria like this before, and I don't think I can go on with my life this way. I know I'm a man, but I'd never feel more invalid at that point in my life. Gay men are brutal. Okay. And this was the picture. I meant to read this so you could actually see it, but this is the pooner meme that I mentioned. The gay men are having at it, and he's just, she. Let's not be gender invalid here. Standing in the corner, being a pooner, very sad about it. Such is life. Such is life when you decide to chop off parts of your body. Sniggering Ginger Digger for 21 says, hey Josh, keep up the good work. I know you have a $10 for clips, and I hope this is enough for 2 music videos. I'm honestly never gonna get the fuck with these. I mean, what is this? It's just a song, my dude. You want me to play like some of your songs? Like, okay, I can do that. This is Louis Logic, The Ugly Truth, and I kind of liked it before the vocals kicked in. And this is, I think this is the Ukrainian version of the South Park song. Oh, okay, I see what's going on. Okay, I will show this one, otherwise it doesn't make sense. know who this is for. I feel like you made this and sent this to me. It has 14 views. Yes, you did make this. Who is this? I don't know if this is like pro-Ukraine or anti-Ukraine. I don't get it. I mean, I like South Park. I just don't know who this is. Is this supposed to like make fun of Ukraine or like be pro-Ukrainian? I really don't get it. Thank you, Val. Rackhuber for 50 says, Bark Bark, thanks for giving us a place to talk about the gross drama. The Lord Tony had his streaming career detailed by some Blocklanders. Old news, but I figure you get a kick out of it. Okay, let's see. Tiny URL to what? Okay, here we go. I will read this because this guy is a pet lolcow and has been for about 20 fucking years. King Tony with the O being one of those crossed out Danish O's. He gets banned every so often, so his name went from like Lord Tony to Lord Tony with the crossed out O to King Tony with the crossed out O. He's been through like 80 different accounts. So this is March 9th, 2023 by King Tony on the Blockland forum in the off-topic drama section, which is the birthplace of the Kiwi farms, basically. He is posting on a dead website for a dead game. Nobody actually plays Blockland anymore, and there's like a handful of people, 400 guests, mostly bots, and 5 users online in the last 15 minutes. Idol, Subpixel, Smashed Eggs, Master King, Dead Dude, and Una Nova 2 are one of the 5 active users on this fucking site talking about Blockland still, even though it's been dead and completely abandoned by Bad Spot for literally like 20 fucking years now. A few of you are asking why I'm acting weird or out of character all of a sudden. My Blockland history was uncovered and released to Twitter by a former Blockland user. Oh, goodness me. What a tragedy. Boo-hoo. Boo-hoo. What a disaster. It would be a shame if that ever happened to anybody. Their Blockland history. Goodness sakes. What a real infringement of personal privacy. They pose as a regular and plan to troll the group to pose as regulars, and then they would wait until the time was right to release the Blockland info. Them posing as regulars did the most damage because they befriended a lot of my followers and mods. They were not genuine fans of me. They were not genuine friends. The forum was basically a Call of Duty lobby. We were just trolls trying to one-up the other troll. I was just one who went above and beyond the other trolls and stood out. Now I said some terrible stuff and nothing I can do to make up for that. I can't even begin to explain the context of 15 years of people outside of Blockland forums, but you guys know the context. You guys know that I was just trolling, using shock bait, being ironic, sarcastic, joking, etc. I've entertained you guys for years. This guy's like 30 something. He's like 35. Some of you probably will still mention me to your friends occasionally. Some of you guys know I was a character. Others could never tell. So I'm trying moving away from the Blockland forums to find new trolling targets. I was an admin for a stuff posting group called Fallout Rad Posting. I just like Blockland stood out and everyone recognized me. I went from absolute nobody to admin overnight. Not only I moved away from Blockland, I moved away from tribal humor, and Rad Posting started becoming an actual tribal cesspit of toxic people who weren't joking at all. So as admin, I tried to remove that garbage, only for the owner to tell me to forget off. Forget off is Bad Spot has for guest a not safe for work filter that's similar to something awful. So forget off is just fuck off. Fuck off, I can't do that, so I left. Then I moved away from Rad Posting and moved on to Adult Swim and used my personality to become zero to nobody overnight once again. I met with several celebrities, been on a few shows. Mike Lazo himself walked over and said to me, I know who you are, you're Lord Tony, and shook my hand. Then AT&T bought Adult Swim and merged it with Discovery, and the rest is history. I was forced out of Adult Swim thanks to AT&T and stuck with Dead by Daylight just like Blockland, Rad Posting, and Adult Swim. I went from nobody to kind of well-known overnight. My Twitch was getting an actual following, and I was making certain former Blocklanders jealous. Oh my god. The former Blocklanders gamers are seething with jealousy for Lord Tony. But it seems like I can never escape Blockland. My past will always come back and haunt me. Tell me about it. Faggot. I tried living peacefully and I was thrown back into the chaos. I should have never tried to hide my Blockland past. In a way, we are kind of forgetted up family, or fucked up family. I've known some of you guys for over a decade now. I've grown and moved away from this type of tribal shock. What does tribal mean? I'm trying to figure out what word filter that is. This type of tribal shock humor I displayed on Blockland forums. It's no longer what I do now. I never associate with tribals and never will. He's an ex-Nazi in Argentina. Dude, you got it. when you're ex Blockland, you have to go to a tattoo shop and get Eric Hartman's name lasered off your wrist, because that's the tell. They roll up your sleeve and start looking for it because everyone's got it. Very good, very funny. Average Blocklander, very average. Let me sit on your face, Josh, for $5 measly. Says, even my normie booner granny spoke up about not liking Pride or all the trannies, and she's kind of the person to talk about gays being just like everyone else and just let them be. Dude, it's happening. The Sisyphus, the boulder is rolling back down. Sorry to be a troon. Sorry you chopped off all your dicks, but you will never be accepted. You will never be a woman. Anonymous for 10 says, you're wrong about the meat Jersh. Go to a U.S. state that isn't some culturally enriched shitbox. You city slicker fuck. Also, thanks for streams and doing 2 of them now. I've almost run out of podcast shows and other shit I'm willing to listen to. I am not wrong. If you know a store that is selling non-USDA inspected beef, you are going to a store that is operating in contradiction to U.S. federal law. Hate to break it to you. Thank you for listening to the show. Josh Moon for 10 says, Ringel is Deutsche. Megamins are owls or something. What do you think of this as a bumper sticker? And then it's a YouTube short. Okay. He says, don't Jew me out of this. And it is a short. So let's see. Okay. New rule for the super chats. Number 1, I'm about to make them $50 minimum. Because I'm getting sick of this shit real fast. Other rule, if I have executive privilege to veto this faggot shit if I fucking see it again. If I've seen the TikTok, I am not watching it. This is the last time. I'll give you this one. Or watch the fucking fish in the plastic bag cook. But after this, I'm done. If I've seen it before, we're skipping. Executive veto. I don't know how it's not melting. It's a little bit scary to be honest with you. This has 4 likes. This has 4 comments. Is this your video? Is this you? Are you advertising your video, your one video that you're proud of? What is happening? Pride Parade for 10 says, the parade seems to be about avoiding a certain... The parade route seems to be avoiding a certain brown area. What do you say, Josh? Is this conspicuous Islamophobia or prudent parade planning? Is this in Detroit where it's trying to avoid the Muslim center? Oh, I thought this was going to be about a pride parade avoiding like the black parts of town. Dude, that's Drainer Manor. The trees attack you there. If you walk past Drainer Manor, all the gay people will be getting lashed out by sentient trees. They're not trying to avoid the ghetto part of the map. They're trying to avoid the trees that attack you. And they're going through Falador anyways. It's like it'd be a really short route if they just went south of Eric. Base trees. Oh, they're trying to avoid Al-Kharid? Maybe. No, Falador and Varric are the nice places. That's the route to take. I mean, I guess they could have started in Al-Kharid, but starting in Lumbridge makes way more sense because they're finishing in Varric. People spawn in Lumbridge. That's why they're starting there, because you can just teleport. You can home teleport and be in Lumbridge. Yeah, no, sorry. This is just simply prudent parade planning. Theoretically Monkey for 10 says, hello, Mr. Josh. I want to say thanks for streaming more often. I left my terrible Walmart job for a new job that's kicking my ass so that I can finally move out across country with a friend. Your streams make dealing with this shit a lot easier. Well, I'm glad to hear you're moving up in the world, my friend. I hope that your new career is everything that you hope it is. Thank you, though. Mega Man Appreciator for 540 says, explosion. Since you're going all out this stream, would you mind reading this copy pasta in regards to Rossman's experience of racism revoking your consumer privilege? Okay. Let's see. Is this the new trend? Everyone's just gonna send me shit to read so that the super chat segment's like 2 hours long. Oh. This base Serbia poster on 4chan posted this amazing quote about American culture being centered around neighbors. Now, I can put this on screen. However, I have to hard disavow whoever the Serbian guy is posting this explicit racism is disgusting, and I must condemn him in the strongest words possible. Thank you, though. Beans for 20 says, I once again get back from handling radiation at work to catch a stream. God bless the streams during Merrimont hours. I don't know the donation threshold for songs, but if it's a Jackson, here's the link. And there is a YouTube link. Okay, I'll play like a couple seconds. This is Hidden Land Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. This is just an OST. I don't understand. Is this like do people really want me just to like play random music during the super chat segment? It's a nice song, but it's not really entertaining in the way that I would want a video during stream to be. That's my jam. Okay, one guy liked it. One guy liked it, Beans. Thank you. Kathleen Ann for 24 says, when you get a chance, you could watch this body cam footage of a guy. Literally every single one is a fucking link. And they're all over $10, so I can't even complain. When you get a chance, you could watch this body cam footage of a guy and his transgender lover being arrested for kidnapping a woman. Okay, fine. I will watch it, motherfucker. Watch me. Oh, I don't. Where's the good part?
Yeah. Put a camera on this thing.
Got a camera. Do you need a...
Oh my God, thank you.
Okay.
Got it? Rolling?
I got throwing.
Okay,
we're gonna get a chat here, okay? We're gonna get a chat here.
Do you need me to say anything about what happened or anything? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just hold on for now, okay? Just hold on, okay?
Dude, where are they? Where are they? This is in Michigan, right? Or is it in Minnesota? Because they have the funny. Don't worry about it, okay? Like the Canadian accent that you hear down there. That's really funny. How do they? What causes people to pull this over? The plate must have been in the system for the kidnapping. So this is the Troon. No, that's the dude. He was singing Amazing Grace. He just fucked a tranny and kidnapped a woman. Now he's singing Amazing Grace. And this is the tranny.
Is it okay to ask what's happening?
What's that?
What's happening?
We gotta figure out a few things, okay?
Okay.
we gotta figure out a few things about the kidnapping. We gotta take you down to the station to ask about the woman tied up in your car. Okay, not trying to offend you or anything or apply anything. Okay, just want to sort this out, eh? Minnesota. Okay. I mean, okay. Look, the name of the video was "Police Body Cam Video Shows Rescue of Kidnapped Woman from Police Activity." Do any of the comments? Jane's neighbor saved her life too because he saw the abduction, followed her abductors with her car, and got a partial license plate, which led to the eventual rescue. A good neighbor is priceless. That's very wholesome, Big Chungus. 31-year-old got life in prison, and the 19-year-old got 63 months and 5 years probation. The girl, so the tranny got 63 months for kidnap. That definitely would have been like a kidnap, murder, rape, living in the basement type thing. They probably would have farmed her out for fucking babies because it's a gross tranny. Always carry weapons and kill people that try to hurt you. The president of Nintendo for 5 says, did you know that NES was intentionally designed to resemble a VCR? Released just after 1983, video game crash, the NES was designed to avoid the stigma associated with other top-loading video game consoles of the era. T&D, total Nintendo domination forever. I did know that. I also knew, you didn't mention, the more interesting thing is that the NES is called the NES, the Nintendo Entertainment System, and not a video game console, because they wanted to avoid being called a video game console, even though they were a video game console. And somehow that worked. People were so fucking stupid that they just assumed that it wasn't a video game console, and they bought it, even though it was exactly that, and whatever, that worked. Mr. Man for 10 says, hey Josh, just graduated college, got my high school history teaching license. Do you have any advice for me other than don't become a teacher? If not, what are some teacher classroom horror stories you had as a kid? So I know not what to do. Always ask your students to spit out gum. I did not like my teachers ever, but I really appreciated the ones that made people spit out gum because it was extremely, I couldn't focus. If I could hear gum chewing anywhere in the classroom, I was out. I was just going to be pissed off the entire hour. It was torture. As far as advice, no. History sucks. Like history teaching sucks. You should just like assign everyone to play EU4 basically. That'll probably be better teaching than your degree and anything you could do and say, or force people to learn through homework. I don't know, maybe if you probably can't even adjust your curriculum because like they tell you what to teach now. So you can't teach American history. You can't teach the Civil War as a war of rights. You can't really teach them anything that you want to. My advice would be go private. Don't become a public school teacher. You should really become a private teacher if you give a fuck. You don't want to be raped by trannies and forced to call kids by their preferred pronouns and all sorts of bullshit. My suggestion is go private. Colga Dante says Jim Sterling says calling people anti-Semitic is just a trick to dodge valid criticism. That's a little on the nose there, Jim. It's true. I can't believe that Jim Sterling is identifying Jewish tactics like that by naming them. That's extremely offensive and anti-Semitic. I hope that James Stefani Sterling doesn't encounter any repercussions. Not only did he outed Bobby Kotick. I didn't even know that Bobby Kotick was Jewish. Jim Sterling identified a Jew on video, and then specifically told people, hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, don't give him devil horns because that's an anti-Semitic trope. Very classy, very subtle. Nice dog whistle there, buddy. City Slicker for 5 says, after hearing Jim Sterling's dick sucking bit, I think I'd prefer the company of Bobby Kotick. Well, I can't blame you for wanting to join the winning team. There's always more. There's what is it? 144,000 chosen people. Welcome in heaven. Maybe you can fit in there one day. Rex Kramer for 5 says, item number SCP-8669, object class Euclid. Description: this butthole of a North Carolina female is unable to self-lubricate. It's similar in moisture to a silica gel packet and is totally unlike my past girlfriends. Containment procedures unknown. Advice: you must destroy the Euclid at any cost, and you must bail out of there and leave no evidence of its existence. Godspeed, Agent. They don't call them agents. They call them like K-class personnel. Good luck, K-class personnel. Don't die. Chloe Dante professes, if you're doing your own rendering, webms display better quality at extreme compression than H.264 MP4. You can do webms if they take longer to render. I suggest MP4 because it's a nice trade-off. Anonymous for 5 says, is that the second time this week you left someone a profile note regarding video size? I swear I saw that earlier this week on the What's New section. I did in fact do that before. I don't think I did that on stream, but I did complain about someone's video size because it was like massive. It was like 50 second. It was like a 15-second long video that was 50 megabytes. It was inexcusable. Anonymous for 5 says, Mr. Man for 1081 says, while I prefer sinking the Commonwealth to the bottom of the ocean, Jim Sterling going back to the fatherland to beat up British women is an acceptable consolation prize. It is true. Out of all futures, the one where Jim Stefani Sterling goes back to the UK to assault women and then pretend to be the best woman ever is pretty great. I don't think there's maybe a couple better futures, but that's pretty high up there. Dr. Perky for 5 says, hi, love watching your older streams covering one Calic shoe on head. Would you consider streams like that again? Thanks. Yes, I would. I would like to do more, but right now isn't a good time. I can't really explain. There's a lot of shit going on, not just including the site. And yeah, I would eventually like to return to forum and do like a proper person stream. They're called spotlights, actually, if you want to know the technical term I use. Thank you. Furry much question mark for 10 says, someone in your chat just said that Jim can't swim as a furry. I looked it up now and my day's ruined. I hold Josh personally responsible.
Do you
what?
Do you suppose it's possible that furries might be furries because we have, or I think we have, a natural inclination to want to celebrate what we are. I mean, we of course want to celebrate who we are.
That's the voice actor. Like that's just the guy that Jim Can't Swim pays to voice. He doesn't do his own videos. This isn't actually him. He just gets paid. That guy's a professional voice actor. He just gets paid to do the voiceovers. That's not the person writing the scripts. You're welcome. I just saved your day, my friend. I hope that $10 was worth it. Teddy Feezer for 5 says the feasoning is upon us. Prepare to be feased. I am so feased right now, my boy. Thank you. Chloe Dante for 5 says Kizami is the narrator of Jim Can't Swim, not one of the back-end staff. It remains unclear who researches and writes for the channel. They've alluded to being multiple people, but may just be using we to refer to a party of indeterminate number. A very smart play by him. The Patreon staff know who he is because they get his they file his W-2s for his income. But yeah, it's a much better idea to do a narrator and not to identify yourself. That's why everyone likes Jim Can't Swim. He has no personality. He doesn't input anything like that into his videos, and he has no personality to cancel. It's very smart economically. Anonymous for 10 says, if you're a detranser and you feel like you fucked up your life beyond repair, remember corporate heads, international bankers, government officials, and college professors all walk around in public like you and I, and there are plenty of hardware stores. That's true. Those people do walk around like you and I, and there are plenty of hardware stores. So if you want to get a hobby like carpentry, you can do that. Or you can go meet your government officials and say hello to them in the street and have a nice conversation. Thank you. Nora Vanguard for 10 says this was an anime from the 2010s that had a subplot about a mother who was churning out her son against his will. So I put your audio from the few streams ago over it. Okay. It's better not be fucking cringe. Every day, sweetie pie, I'm gonna make a woman out of you, just like I always wanted. I'm going to make you the beautiful daughter that my mommy always wanted. We can get rid of that ugly thing down there, my precious daughter. We can undo God's mistakes through the power of mommy science. Sure can. Have I been turned into an AMV? Is this what has happened? I've been AMVified? That's very cursed because it is very funny, but it's also anime. I don't know how you know about this Force Femme anime from the 2010s enough to immediately think of it and then apply my voice to it. So I cannot call it base, but I don't know. Pretty dangerous stuff. Pretty evil. Pretty black magic. Thank you. McNeighbor. McNeighbor for 5 says, thanks for the laughs, Whitey. Fuck these bitch ass niggas thinking they women and shit. We was kangs and shit. Y'all in my book, nigga. Also TTD, nigga, TTD. Thank you, neighbor nerd. I appreciate it very much. Homie. City's Liquor for 20 says YouTube link. Oh boy, my favorite.
6 million. 6 million. That's a pretty interesting number, isn't it? 6 million. 6 million people.
I played that on stream before, but it is very funny. Thank you very much. Anime for 20 says, would you kindly pick out several representative moments from this video and tell me who is the lesser of two evils there? Context, the gentleman is an actual refugee who has had his residency revoked. No, I would really not like to, but I suppose I will, because why not? My time has no value. This has about $20 of value, I guess. Japanese immigrant officials torturing refugee application. The reality of deportation. Full edit, 28 minutes. What are they doing? What are they doing to him?
車椅子の時普通に座ってたの。普通に座って
I don't understand. How are they torturing him?
あなたの気持ちはわかるけど、私たちの仕事も理解して。
波は終わったない。
終わってるんだよ。
He speaks
ほらリラック
Japanese.
スしよう。力抜いてリラックスしよう。ね。
私からね。
リラックスしよう。ご飯食べるかい？
Uh-oh.
ご飯あるよ。
私からできない。
ポカリスエット飲む？炎症リキッドもあるよ。
So he's an illegal immigrant, and they're forcing him to go back, and I don't understand. They're offering him food and shit. How the fuck is this his fault? Or are they bad? They're just trying... He's trying to fake being crippled. And he won't calm down. The Japanese are on the right. Fuck them. I really don't understand how I could say the Somali guy who can't calm the fuck down is on the right. You gotta go back. The Darkest Night for 5 says, hey, I see you sent that donation last time saying I had gender dysphoria. I'm sending this to let you know that I was facetious and meant to be a joke, but you answered it really earnestly, so I felt bad. You're way nicer than I think you try to come across. I don't try to make myself sound tough. I don't think I do. I try to be nice to people. I accept your apology, though. Anonymous for 10 says, does your hatred of government wages extend to state employees? No, I fully support state employees, unless they're Californian. I think that if you really want to join the government and do public good, you should do it at a state level. I think that states should try to replace the federal government as much as possible. And I think that when the federal government collapses, you'll be shocked by how much the state governments actually do and how very little will change. If the U.S. federal government just went poof, out of smoke right now, you'd wake up, the roads would still be maintained, sewer, water, lighting, and all public utilities would still work. You go to work and you wouldn't notice anything differently. Cars would still have fuel. Life would just go on. You'd think, wow, what do these fucking people actually do? What do they really do every day? You'll never know. You'll never know until you have more money. Your money is backed with, because now the states have to default to something. I guess they'll start using silver again, right? Because sure, why not? And then you'll have more money, and your money won't depreciate in value at 2% like clockwork every year. At a minimum, 2% like clockwork every year. And be like, wow, those people really didn't. You're not going to collect Social Security anyways. What do those people really do? Nothing. Anonymous for 10 says, Josh, did you see some tranny flash their zipper tits at the White House? Yes, I did, actually. I have that. That was on, Disclose. I can probably just pop this link in and show you. Okay, yeah, this works.
Welcome to the White House.
Thank you.
Happy Pride Month.
Wait, sorry, I fucked it up.
Welcome to the White House.
Thank you.
Happy Pride Month. Happy Pride Year. Happy Pride Life.
Yeah.
Transgender children.
You are beautiful.
You are heard.
You belong.
You're understood.
You are loved.
And you belong. One of the bravest and most inspiring people I've ever known.
You're welcome.
Good folks.
Can we take a little video? Hi, Mr. President. It is an honor. Trans rights are human rights. Oh, it's a video.
The monument's in the back, right?
Gay news.
By the way,
Are we topless?
you see that? Okay, ignore the tranny trying to play with his man boobs. You see how in the back there's actually 3 flags hung there, 2 United States flags, and then in the center there's the progress flag with the progress chevron out of frame. That is a violation of the U.S. flag code. Under no circumstances may a foreign or any other kind of flag be more prominent in any displaying of the U.S. flag than the U.S. flag. If it was 2 U.S. flags, and then you had lower and to the right and left the progress flag, that would be okay. But you can't put the progress flag front and center and then be set by the U.S. flag. That implies that the progress flag is dominant over the U.S. flag, which no government official or U.S. military installation should ever do. Just so you know. Sneedaho for 5 says, I can't make this stream since I work the graveyard shift, but I was wondering what kind of rap music you like. I saw you had some in your playlist. I like what's called retrospective in hip hop, and it was popular in the 90s. Like I said, I think that the best hip hop song ever made is Dance with the Devil by Immortal Technique. It's one of the most, I think, powerful expressions of like pain in music form. It's really good. It's a really compelling story too, and I recommend it to people who like hip hop. But yeah, thank you. Legacy Floyd for 25 says, did you hear that Amberlynn's ex Destiny admitted to having put her shit bull down by lead poisoning because it wouldn't stop trying to attack people? Highest IQ Kentucky lesbian. I saw that Amberlynn had put out a video with a clickbait title about Becky, and I did not watch it. I haven't had time yet. I don't want to say that killing dogs is base, but I don't consider shit bulls to be dogs. So I will leave it at that. Thank you very much, though. Poopy for 5 says, the phrase you were looking for when talking about the way the system perpetuates itself is an emergent behavior. Well, there you go. Word of the day, emergent behavior. That does sound correct. For 5, for 5, for 5, for 5, for 5, for 5, for 10 says, only need 20 seconds of your time. I'm fucking sick of that Justice idiot sending you shitting music. This mogs it. Breaking My Heart, long version by Gianna Durante. Wow, bro, that totally epic owns that other fucking song. God, I fucking hate you people. It's so fucking much. The president of Nintendo Provides has just heard the Emperor of Sega's donation. Buying a Sega is just the first step in the journey to fucking your own mother. He can suck my Nintendo. TND, total Nintendo domination. See you at the treehouse this weekend, bestie. Thank you very much. You hear that, Sega? Fuck you. Donald's for 10 says, we did it, boys. We found Kay's husband.
Hello, today I'm going to show you how to make... Yeah, it's going to rip...
So he's blending beef chunks? Okay, he's like blending beef chunks. Okay.
As well.
Oh my god, okay. That's fucking gnarly. This is Deluxe Pizza by Paul4608, and I almost threw up in my fucking mouth. I'm not... Sorry, I cannot watch that anymore. Angry Watch for Angry Watch for 5 says, have you heard any more Wrangle Star? Oh my fucking god. Dude's pretty good at dispensing practical dead and homesteading knowledge. Is really religious. He got a culty a few years ago, but it's gotten based. YouTube fucking short link. I'm done. This is it. I'm calling it. Do not send me any more fucking YouTube links. Like for next stream, like just don't. I don't want. I might for next stream. I might just say total YouTube link death. I cannot fucking stand it. Every single one of these is a goddamn YouTube link. Like it's been an hour and 40 fucking minutes of YouTube links. I'm sorry for getting mad, but really, I'm like trying to get through this shit. And everyone's like, can you like watch this entire fucking video and comment on it? Like, no, I can't. I'm trying to go pee. I have to piss. Can you excuse me?
If Proho were to take an empty water bottle and fill it up halfway with black oil-based paint, then add a little used motor oil, and for good measure, a few pinches of sand, and then stretch a water balloon over the opening.
Was it create a gas? Oh no, he's creating a water balloon.
And then lob this party favor, or let's say an occupying force. Goodness, that oil-based paint is difficult to deal with, hard to wash off. And that oil, well, it's slippery too. And the sand, goodness, it plays havoc on face shields. Not so good for optics either. Act accordingly.
That's pretty base. I do like this guy. Okay, Wrangle Star. Yeah. Calm me with your anti-government information. Thank you. Alright, is that it? Am I done? Is anyone else send me a fucking YouTube link? And these are the greasy professors. Perhaps the minimum video donio link should be $50 dues. Also Sneed. I agree. I don't know how to relay this information. I don't know how to like put like a rule list to say like this is what I'm looking for. Nora Vanguard for 5 says the show is Assassination Classroom. I watched it when it came. The subplot was interesting, but the rush to click It's funny how back then people talked about how much of a terrible mother she was, but now she is celebrated by Twitter freaks. Yeah, probably. You should probably stop watching anime before you cut your dick off, my boy. Okay, then on Odyssey, there's nothing on Rumble. Loads of Honey for 5 says, kill Redditors, behead Redditors, roundhouse kick a Redditor into the concrete, slam dunk a Redditor baby into the trash can, crucify filthy Redditors, defecate in a Redditor's food, launch Redditors into the sun, stir fry Redditors in a wok, toss Redditors into an active volcano. True and base, and I agree. Eugene Greenbeard for 5 says, I'd just like to interject for a moment. What you're referring to as Linux is in fact GNU/Linux, or as I've recently taken to calling it GNU plus Linux. GNU is not an operating system unto itself, but rather another free component of a fully functioning GNU system. This is true. Though Linus actually says that Stallman is a faggot and he needs to learn his place in response to this. ... Pretend says, parentheses, Lucifer did try and subvert God, just saying. Compelling argument. Perhaps we should actually give Bobby Kotick devil ears, or devil horns after all. And Rickenbacker for 7 says, hope you're having a good week, and here is some money for not watching anime. Biggest. Finally. Paying off every week, boy. Every week. Alright, I'm done. No more fucking YouTube links. I can't take anymore. Oh, wait, one more. Nicholas Wagecase replies says, howdy neighbor, what do you think of the chances all the autism and pedo shit in anime is intentional to feminize and atomize the men of Japan? 0. I think that there's just something really wrong with them. That's what I think about Japan. Okay, I gotta go pee. Thank you for listening. I will figure out what the fuck to do about the YouTube shit, because every single person this week decided that they were going to try to do a YouTube video, and I just can't fucking stand it. I feel bad for saying that, but you know how it'd be. Okay, this is a cover of a popular song, because the more popular song is so popular that it would get me struck no matter what, even on podcast archives. So it's a shout out to my boy who saw it all coming miles away.
They paved paradise and put up a parking lot with a pink hotel, a boutique, and a swinging hot spot. Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone? They paved paradise and put up a parking lot. They took all the trees and put them in a tree museum. And they charge the people $1.50 to see them. No, 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 don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone? They pay paradise, put up a parking lot. Hey, farmer, farmer, put away the DDT. I don't care about spots on the apples, leave me the birds and the bees. You don't know what you got till it's gone. They pay paradise, put up a parking lot. Hey, now they pay paradise, put up a parking lot. Why not? Late last night, I heard the screen door slam, and the big yellow taxi took my girl away. Now don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone? They pay paradise, put up a parking lot.